Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast on this beautiful opening day for baseball. It is back. It feels good. It gives me life. It's just a good day. Everybody's got hope. Everyone is even, no wins, no losses. Feeling good about it. We are Easy Allies, and I'm joined by
Daniel Bloodworth. Feeling good myself.
Good.
Went to punk rock show last night.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Place
What?
I hadn't been to for years.
Punk rock show. Who'd you see?
I saw Lizzie Killian,
I
who's
don't know
one of
who
our
that is.
PR reps.
Whoa.
Yeah, she has a punk band called Teens in Trouble.
Yeah.
And she's on tour. She played by Southwest, then did GDC, and now is doing a few more shows.
Sick.
Yeah. She's married to Seth Killian.
Nice.
You remember Seth Killian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you mosh?
I did not. But
Have you moshed in the past?
Yeah, but chill shows like that.
Chill
Where it's like
shows.
people aren't going crazy, like
Yeah.
running full speed with spikes at your face.
Yeah. Do you headbang?
Not really like overtly headbang, but I mean, like you get into the music, but not like the
Slut
full
headbang.
swing.
Yeah.
I actually got.
'Cause you got the hair for it, Blood. You
Well,
can
yeah,
swing that around.
I had an experience where like I was like 7 years old, right, and did like the full on headbang thing for like way too long, and then my neck was like really like out, like not in control anymore. Like I strained my neck way too hard. It was like, oh yeah, I will not do that anymore. And I was only like 7, right? It was like this was a bad idea.
Love this.
I'm sure there's some real technique
Yeah.
that real people use, just like when you like scream sing in a hardcore band. But
Wayne's World.
yeah,
It's the technique right there.
I did not do it right, and thus I did not headbang after that.
Nice. We got Michael Damiani.
For the Angels, welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of. There you go.
1-0, the Yankees. Damiani's feeling good about it. Making it all happen in the booth, we got Isla Hink.
Hello.
How you doing, Isla?
I'm great.
Say something delightful.
Something delightful.
Yeah, of course you would. We also got Don Casanova in there somewhere, roaming around, lurking
In
around.
the water?
Don, every day is one day closer to Wave Race.
Heck yeah.
TikTok.
And
TikTok.
Avatar.
TikTok.
And Jurassic Park.
Yes. And Terminator No Fate.
And the Terminator King. So many things
Yeah.
coming for Don.
And Gabby Montu back there somewhere also. Hell yeah. We got a good show today.
Got a packed show. is what
Folks, we got a packed
We got a
show.
show so packed that I'm like, Huber, we have to cut the freaking
Yeah.
spring preview. It's not working. It's not going to happen.
What we won't cut today, because in honor of opening day, is a quick 30-second history lesson about the invention of the curveball.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad our weekly segment on the invention of the curveball is not being cut this week.
Yes. This is going to make it in. William Arthur, nicknamed Candy Cummings, born in 1848. He first used the curveball in competition while pitching for Brooklyn's Excelsior Club on October 7th, 1867. And he figured it out by learning how to throw seashells with like a break to it.
Okay.
And then he used it in the game. And he said, quote, "A surge of joy flooded over me that I shall never forget. I felt like shouting out that I had made a ball curve, but I said not a word and saw many a batter at the game throw down his stick in disgust." They were like, "What the hell is this? Why is it
Perfection.
Yeah.
That's
so
so good.
amazing.
There you go. Little lore, little history. Thank you for humoring me, everybody. All right. Should we dive right in, Bloodworth?
Well, you still go over the topics.
Oh, the beautiful topics.
So no.
The beautiful
It's
topics.
like, let's go.
Yes.
I'm with you. Here we go.
The beautiful topic. The first thing that we will be talking about, of course, is the Nintendo Direct that happened today. What is quite possibly the very last Switch 1 Nintendo Direct. Also,
Certainly the last that's only to Switch one. Should be the last that's only to Switch one, I would guess.
yeah.
It'd be real weird if they do another one of those just in between.
I know, but yeah.
I guess it could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen. Yeah.
It's
But who knows?
Nintendo. You never know.
I've been playing a lot of the absolutely soul-crushing, brutally challenging First Berserker Khazan.
Nice.
Eyeless played a bit of that too. We'll be talking
Yeah.
about that. Bloodworth has been taking point, but I have also had the chance to play a bit of Atomfall.
Nice.
So we'll be talking about
I got
that.
a solid 4 hours in the other night, but I haven't got to get back to it
It's
yet.
not a terribly long game, so it's a nice little chunk. Also, Dawn with some Wreckfest 2.
Ooh.
So excited about this. And last but not least, Blood's trip to GDC. Mm-hmm. Talking about all the goings on at GDC. All right, now we are ready to dive right in to the Nintendo Direct. Again, a kind of a finale, if you will.
Well, you want to talk about curveballs? Nobody saw that coming.
Some curveballs, yeah, some announcements here. But yeah, it's one of the...
But we knew about the Switch 2 Direct for months. And then all of a sudden, the day before, they're like, "Oh yeah, we got one of these tomorrow."
Well, it's funny,
They really
'cause,
slid this
last
in.
week, people were saying there's going to be a direct. Then this week, a bunch of people started saying there's going to be like a Switch 1 direct. And it's like, what? Like, why would they, like,
Right.
yeah. So that, like, insiders were insisting, and it was like, everyone's like, no, we're not having any more of your insider nonsense. Like, we got Switch 2 next week. Why the heck would they do this? This is insane. But it's Nintendo. They love insane. As you'll see from some of these announcements, they were insane.
Yes. Also, you can check out our reactions that we did this morning. We reacted to it. So you can see all of our, right in the moment reactions and all of our
Oh
confusion.
yeah, that was the other thing I had to do right after. I had to make sure I got that up with all the timestamps.
Yeah. Thank you, Bloodworth, helping you out, everybody. Yeah, you'll see all of our confusion as well for some of these announcements. But first, I'm going to kick it to you, Damiani.
Oh.
With Switch 2 looming, what were your expectations and how did you think this Direct went down?
I mean, when I saw it was 30 minutes, I really thought, well, they got to have more than what I was expecting. Because I thought this was just going to be a Metroid Prime 4, maybe like showcase, and then like a handful of like final games coming out, like maybe a port or two, and like one or two like smaller titles, and that was going to be it. But 30 minutes is like up there. That's like a good sized Direct. Like their longer ones are usually 40. And their showcase ones are, 40 or 45 minutes. They rarely go over that. So I was like, man, they got to have a good amount of games in this. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, well, there's probably going to have Metroid Prime 4, and they're probably going to have, like, one other game in here. And I thought, like, I did think, like, Pokemon Z would probably fit the billing, and it did end up being in here.
Yeah.
But they had way more than I expected in here. And as we'll see, the dates that they're throwing out there for these games that are coming to Switch 1, they go pretty far out. So you can interpret it as maybe they're sending a message about support for that system.
Message, dude.
Yeah, that they're not quite ready to abandon the Switch 1.
Yeah, we saw
Or
some
you could take-
holiday 2025 games, Damiani.
saw some 2026.
And 2026
There's
as well.
2026
Yeah,
games.
multiple.
Hey, yeah,
late.
You can go full doomer and just think that it's getting delayed to next year along with GTA 6, but that's
No, dude.
not a chance.
Take
right?
it back.
Not a chance.
Take it back right now.
Not a chance. It's on track, right?
Gosh.
Absolutely on track.
Don't put that out here, dude. Don't put that out.
Ricky, you take that back, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that curse on me.
Don't put the curse on me. Bloodworth.
Yeah.
How do you enjoy the festivities this morning with the Nintendo Direct?
No, I mean, like you were saying, like
No.
No, did not enjoy.
How did you
didn't
enjoy it?
down.
No.
I did.
Blood will not be silenced by Nintendo, Gabby.
I was surprised because, I was like, okay, they've got Metroid, and people were talking about maybe they'll port some other stuff, right? But from the Wii U or even maybe something else, something from 3DS or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Kid Icarus, not likely, but
Oh, that'd be sick.
yeah.
Chris.
But yeah, I didn't expect all of these games.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit there.
There's quite a
It's
bit. I
like-
mean, they immediately.
Obviously, they got some big boys that we're still waiting on
Yeah.
for Switch 2, but there's quite a few here.
Great segue, Blood, because immediately, my expectations were like, oh, Switch 2's coming. This is kind of just the overflow. Maybe we'll see, like Metroid, Damiani was talking about, maybe a little, pre-Switch 2 Metroid footage and then like a deep dive next week. But right out of the gate, we see Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. So just immediately, I'm hooked. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
This direct. I mean, they opened with a banger.
It's so great too the way like this just transitions between those like the artwork of the different heroes. It was like, okay, you just played 3, and now here are the other 2.
Yeah.
That Dragon Warrior hype, dude.
Yeah.
Solo out in the field.
Well, that's the thing that's going to be really interesting for me because I never caught up on 2 and 3, so they were kind of fresh experiences. What we played of 3 was a fresh experience for me. I didn't really have a mental comparison there. But when we get into the first game, like, I played that game. Yeah. So it's like it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays, and then also like what they do differently, because there are concerns that like, okay, is this game too simple for modern audiences, and that's why they're bundling it in with 2 and all of that kind of thing.
That's so fair. That makes so much sense.
There's not a party,
Yeah, Damiani, dude. I know you went in on Dragon Quest 3. You went all in.
Oh, yes.
Where's the hype check?
I mean, I had so much fun with 3, and I actually got to say, like, some of the stuff they're showing in this trailer, it's obviously the same art, the HD 2D style, but they were doing some, like, cool effects on some of those scenes that looked more impressive than even, like, 3, I felt like.
Yeah.
So, it's just... 3 was very comprehensive. I'm very curious because even though story-wise, from what I understand, these take place after.
Yeah, 3's the first.
Mechanically, gameplay-wise, if they're going to be super similar or if they're going to have anything unique about them. I'm kind of excited to see what they do about that, and also to hear like from people like you, Huber, who are veterans, that how they feel about the changes.
Yeah,
and if they think any of the quality of life updates or any of the additional content, because that monster catching stuff and those medals were like really good additions. I really enjoyed those for sure.
Same. The new class too, the like Beastmaster. It's really cool.
Well, the other thing I'm curious about is because they were pleasantly surprised by how well 3 did. Whether that will have any kind of impact on what they're able to do with this, like whether they got like, okay, let's put a couple more people on here and like polish this a little bit more, do a little bit more. Like obviously they were, they've already got the engine built. They were already pretty far along when 3 released. But I'm curious. I'm curious whether we will see a noticeable benefit and bump up. From that to this.
Hell yeah. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Cannot wait. Absolutely. One of the best series in my life is Dragon Quest. So this has just been so nice that we got 3, and now we're getting 1 and 2, while the agonizing wait for 12, continues to go.
But this is good news for 12 as well, though, because it's like if Dragon Quest is doing well right now, then when the big one comes around, there's going to be more people primed for it.
Yeah.
Might see it as soon as next week, Huber.
Let's go.
You're
not wrong.
Let's go.
You're not wrong.
I'm also curious what this means beyond just 1, 2, 3. Like, what would be like the next ones?
Yeah. A simple remaster of 8, please.
Right.
That's all we want. Like Dragon Quest, the social account, they were like, they referenced Dragon Quest 8, and every single response, including my own, was like, please remaster this game. Please port this game. Please save us.
What do you want more, Huber? A remaster of 8 or Silk Song?
I mean, Dragon Quest 8 is legitimately my favorite RPG and one of my favorite games of all time. So, yeah, I honestly would take 8. It's just like, it's such a special game to me, so near and dear to my heart. And just them re-releasing that to the masses, like letting everyone get in on that, good stuff. I know you can get it on your phone now. There's like the mobile versions, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I think this style will be good for 4. I think once you get into 5 and 6, it's sort of a maybe. But then, yeah, you wouldn't want 7 or 8 to look like this.
No.
Not at all.
Sick. All right, next up, one of the ones we're really anticipated on, especially after that awesome episode of Secret Level. It was a little divisive. I know Gabby and I loved it. Damiani was not as hyped on it. Shadow Labyrinth.
You should explain what this is, at least. Start there. Because,
it is a Pac-Man Metroidvania with a very dark and brutal sci-fi twist.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're going through Metroidvania style Pac, the little Pac-Man Puck.
Yeah. Original name.
Puck is, going around eating things, turning into some weird, like, shadow-looking monster.
Yeah, the shadow creature I still don't have an explanation for. They did at least talk about, like, the mech and all of that. Mm-hmm. But Operation Ragnarok. There's the mech if you're watching the video.
The mech looks crazy. This game just looks awesome. And I love when a legendary or prolific franchise takes a big swing that you didn't see coming. Like, this is a very bizarre way to take this series, Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And I'm so in for it.
# consume darkness.
Consume darkness. So edgy.
Good hashtag.
That is edgy. Yeah, you're just like grabbing things and eating them. Like
that. The transformation stuff. Like, did not see that coming. I mean, even watching like Secret Level.
Yeah.
And seeing the trailers for that. I mean, you knew Puck was gonna eat stuff, but that was like crazy. So
yeah.
That I was like, I'm now more interested in this game because of that gameplay mechanic. So, yeah, I've moved up, Huber, because you're saying maybe it wasn't as high. It's like, I'm a little bit more interested now because of that.
Yeah, I know that's this whole. If this game delivers, I'm gonna say it'll be the best thing Secret Level ever did. You know, have an episode
to introduce that crazy concept.
Exactly. Yeah. Introduce an unannounced game and then release that game. Like, that is just so cool. And I really hope we get, another season of that show and they can do, like, cool shit like this. It's so cool.
I want to give you a hypothetical, Huber, for something even better from Secret Level. Season 2. New Concord episode. So well received. They're like, we gotta bring the game back. No. We gotta bring the game back.
So much money they just threw away.
They're just like the people are clamoring for it. We have to. We have to.
I'm clamoring for it.
The feel-good revival of the decade.
I would still be doing dailies if that game was out. I'm not even kidding. I'd be booting that up, playing my dailies, fighting as one.
I got an unhinged quote for you there, Huber, out of the email.
Unhinged quote.
Here we go. Here's the quote. # consume darkness. On a mysterious planet littered with relics from past wars, swordsman number 8, so this is some like Claymore shit, is awoken by a floating yellow orb known as Puck. As you navigate this alien maze, you will shift between 3 different forms, jumping and slashing as the agile swordsman number 8, exploring in classic Pac-Man style as Mini Puck, and unleashing devastating power as the mecha construct Gaia. Gaia, Dawn.
Gaia.
Use these different playstyles to turn the tables on your enemies and grow from prey to apex predator. It's so extreme, dude. Shout out. So cool. Shadow Labyrinth, coming this year. All right, next
July
up.
18th.
July 18th. Beautiful. Summer hit. Next up, one of my all-time favorites from PSP days. PSP? Vita? One of those.
PSP.
PSP. Is Patapon.
Oh, yeah.
Patapon 1 and 2 replay coming out July 11th. Also on PS5 and PC, not on Xbox. But all of these are in Xbox, so it's all good.
Not there yet, but maybe soon.
But this is a rhythm. Like, how do you even describe Patapon? It's a rhythm
action
game. Yeah. What's
classes.
What's your familiarity with Patapon Blood and?
I actually don't have a
Damiani?
lot because I never had a PSP of my own. I only play the ones in the office or whatever, GT. And this totally this is another one of those curveballs.
Yeah.
Because they started this up and they're like, oh, Rataton, you know, the one that's the new one that's coming from the original creators, and then it's like, no, it's not Rataton, it's the originals.
Yeah.
It's like, what's happening? Bandai Namco is publishing this.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's
The music.
licensed by Sony Interactive. Yeah, there it is.
This
so
is
weird.
This is one of those games, Bloodworth, where when I was playing it, I was like moving my entire body.
Oh, yeah.
Playing it. It's like it is just it gets in you. It's so addicting. The music is so catchy, and you just like feel because it ties into the combat. The better rhythm you do, the more efficient you are at combat.
Right.
So you just get in these zones, and it's just it's a delight.
Yeah, I'm not good at rhythm stuff, but I really, really dig the music for these.
How about you, Damiani? You gonna hit this up?
Other than being aware of when it came out and seeing like footage for it,
Yeah.
my closest I gone hands on was the Astrobot.
Yeah. Sick.
Bot, I guess.
Comes out 7-Eleven. That's a good day.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was more like the ones I played on the PSP and Vita or PSP were the Loco Roco stuff.
Yeah, yep.
Like I played all of those.
Totally.
And those were more
So fun.
my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times.
But I mean, this is good. Also, again, yeah, as I said, a surprise, not too surprising, but a nice surprise. And also, like, Sony just, allowing so many of their games to just be free.
The little thing in the corner there, licensed by Sony Entertainment, is in the Nintendo Direct. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I-
They've even announced a new game in there.
Isla, you make music. You in for Patapon?
Sure, I never played them before, but it looks kind of fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's so jolly. Yeah, it'll probably be on. It's gonna be on Switch, so I was gonna say it'll be on like Steam Deck too. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah, you'll be able to play
portable
it on Steam
game
Deck.
for sure.
I will say it was a blast hearing the announcer saying all like the pata combos, and like nailing it each time, like not even like
Oh.
I was like that was satisfying.
So
I was
good.
like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my god, yeah.
Good job.
Seriously, you don't want me to play this because like after I play it, I just say Patapon for like weeks straight, 24/7 nonstop. That's all I'm saying.
We're used to it.
We just combined that with Huber rushing to doors and co-op and spamming like, come on,
Piers. Next up, Bloodworth, you taught me all about this, the behind the scenes lore of who's making who, what, where, why, when. Story of Seasons
Oh, that
has another one.
Yeah. Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar.
So hyped on this.
Yeah, we don't have the B-roll prep, but this is
Just quick lip
yeah.
service
This
here.
is so Harvest Moon, the original developer, are the ones that make Story of Seasons. It's the American publisher that owns the Harvest Moon name, so they're making their own separate set of games with a different team.
Got it.
So these are the OGs.
The OGs.
Yeah.
Blood. This is one of those series, like Genshin style, where I'm just like looking at it from afar.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play, dude. I want to get in, and this one looked really good.
Yeah. It definitely looks good. I haven't really kept up with it. The one that I got the deepest in was A Wonderful Life on GameCube. But that's where I was like getting deep into like the hybrid fruit and things like that.
So intense.
Yeah.
Sick.
Gabby,
you in for this? Story of Seasons?
Are you in for this, Gabby?
Yeah, maybe.
She says, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean, they're essentially the reason all of these farming games exist.
Yeah.
It's really what it goes
progenitor,
back to is
for sure.
the Harvest Moon on the Super Nintendo. Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the context too. Is I loved Harvest Moon. Played. What was it? Was there N64 one?
Yes.
Played
Harvest Moon 64. Yeah.
That one I played a shit ton, and then GameCube a little bit. But yeah, the N64 Harvest Moon, I played that so much. All right, and then next, the one of, if not the main event,
Yeah.
the heaviest of hitters, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Beyond.
Visually, it looked a little better this time too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the art style comes across a little bit better. There's some curves and some details and some architecture. I think I don't 100% know how to feel about it, because like in some ways it's like
We got a doubter over here.
It's not blowing my mind, but I'm also very intrigued.
Blood will not be silenced by Nintendo.
Here we go.
But it's nice to be in like this completely different place. They're talking about like tapping into ancient powers that give you psychic abilities.
Yeah.
But then they're like, that you used to do things like open doors, and I'm like, that's what? That can't be the example you give. It's to open a door with the psychic power. We have so many things to open doors with. But then they show this thing where you can like guide your shots, like go into slow-mo and like guide the shot to like multiple enemies. And I can see how that'd be like a puzzle kind of thing.
Oh my God, we're gonna do that so much.
You gotta hit them all in sequence.
We're gonna do that 100 times in this game.
And then some other stuff with the telekinesis there. There's a quote in there about threads intertwining beyond space and time, whatever the heck that means. All the enemies look new, and you got these freakos with like multiple arms going on.
They look cool. Cool enemy design. I liked them.
And then you like see the purple glow of the psychic powers go on, and then they had a tease at the very end of a new suit as well, which we'll see if you're watching the video. But it's like, it was surprisingly brief. For what we thought, 30-minute presentation.
Gameplay, though, baby.
They're going to go deep in.
Yeah.
And we kind of still just got a little bit here.
I think they're going all in next week on Switch 2. If they don't go all in next week, that'll.
I think this is going to be, because people saw fine print on some of the stuff of like Switch 2 edition. Games, so Switch 2 exclusives, but then also Switch 2 editions.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna get this game.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2 editions.
Hell yeah, need that, dude. Need the frames.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see Mario Odyssey, Switch 2 edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damiani. A while ago, Metroid was in a way worse spot, but after Dread, we saw its stock rise a little bit. How are we feeling about Prime 4?
I will just say from this presentation and what I saw before, I'm only optimistic based on pedigree and history. Mm-hmm. They haven't shown me anything yet that's like, damn. If this was the first entry, this would be like amazing looking. It's more that I'm like expecting, there's a bunch of cool shit they're just not showing for, it's Nintendo. They like to hide their stuff to the last minute. But what I'm seeing is so straightforward and derivative of the original trilogy. The fact that it actually looks, other than like the setting and maybe like the psychic powers, in some ways what they're showing, I don't want to say like a regression, but it looks so basic,
a little safe,
right?
Yeah. And I'm kind of like, man, I'm really hoping. It's like I will stop short of saying anything else more strongly worded than that till next week, because for sure. I have this like gut feeling they're like, we need to save the good shit for our big event. Like we're gonna give you a little, like, we know Switch 1 player or owners want to play this on Switch 1. Nintendo has historically a last big game on an older generation system. They do honor and release it on it. Like we got Breath of the Wild on Wii U, we got Twilight Princess on GameCube. Like they've done this before, but the cool one, it's debatable with Twilight Princess, but otherwise the one with the cool new features that most people are into, I'll say that, are on the current gen. So what is it going to be? Is it going to just be, this looks so much better on Switch 2? Like those opening like forest, like the green forest area and that corridor you're going down, that looked very Switch 1 to me. And if I see it on, like they show on Switch 2 and it's like, damn, that looks so good. I mean, they could have the visual wow factor, because that's kind of not there for me right now, but like it's not as important. But like what's most important is showing me one cool new power or one cool new ability or something that just wasn't in any of the previous 3 games, that's gonna give us some indication. And even if it's not a mechanic, like the psychic stuff, show us using if they have nothing beyond that, like show us a psychic thing that's more, we did the curving shot, but show me something else. That can't just be the curving shot, because other games have done curving shots and it's not that amazing. It's like we've seen it before.
I think that's so fair it's a really fair ask, Damiani, because, one, Metroid, as a franchise, has innovated and, set the bar so high over the years. And then two, Nintendo themselves, is always innovating, always showing some cool, unique mechanic. And yeah, definitely what we've seen so far is a little safer. But I'm wondering if, we're going to get, you made me think, Damiani, like Twilight Princess on GameCube versus Wii, the motion controls.
Yeah.
So it's like, will we have...
Waggle.
Yeah, well, exactly. Not the deepest thing, but like a new way to play that game. And it was cool at the time, even though it was a novelty. It was still really cool. So I'm wondering if Switch 2, the version of Metroid on Switch 2, will have some completely different way to engage with it.
Maybe the mouse
power
controls.
of the mouse.
Yeah, the mouse. Exactly, the mouse.
Like,
something
emulating like mouse keyboard,
which actually
FPS gameplay. Yeah,
that would actually kind of play into the thing I was noticing is that a lot of the like psychic abilities or like tracing the line or whatever looked really slow. Like I imagine they're just doing that for the trailer, but like maybe that's the controller version of that. And if you're using the controller as a mouse, maybe it's like way more twitch.
Yeah, that can make sense. I also saw somebody point out, I don't know if we'll be able to see it here, but like sometimes when like you're locked onto an enemy, it looks like there's a reticle within the reticle. And so maybe you lock on, but then you still have like a little
pinpoint, weak points.
Yeah, to hit the head or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It'd also be really cool if it does support like the mouse functionality.
Yeah.
The Metroid Prime 1 remastered. If there's like an addition for that to support it. Stuff like that. Because like we always keep thinking of Switch 2 mode, edition, or whatever, as enhanced performance, but and another control scheme that people might actually really benefit from, especially for like shooters. That could be pretty exciting for some people who maybe are. Because Nintendo's generally pretty limited with their control customizations outside of like the system level button remapping you can do, which can become a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. They aren't like known for having a lot of like flexibility when it comes to their first party games, but offering another control scheme that's more practical like this could be seen like it was a really good thing.
Yeah.
Be well received.
Just a couple details too. We are on planet Vuros.
Yeah.
And Samus was unexpectedly transported there. Some ancient powers, psychic abilities. The new suit at the end is teased in the trailer. And then, like you said earlier, Blood, threads intertwining beyond space and time, whatever that means.
Oh, the other thing, they didn't put a date on it, which definitely like makes us think like next week they're gonna have more, because like you're still just saying 2025. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Metroid can be such a showpiece, really. I think it would just make so much sense to show it on the Switch 2, just to clearly see the difference of versions and the upgrade, and really sell people on the Switch 2 as well. Be like, here's the same exact game on Switch 1 and 2. This is why you need a Switch 2.
Yeah, there's a part of me where it's like I'm second guessing myself because I'm like, am I just like making crap up in my head? But there's a part of me that feels like there's something about these textures that look like textures that are like downscaled. Like, when you go from like a high to like a low on PC.
Yeah.
Like there's something about these textures that feels like the textures are supposed to look better than this, but they downscaled them for the Switch.
I totally see what you're saying. Yeah.
Which would go in hand with what you're saying, Blood.
Like they're not designed for this platform.
They can't give a date till next week because I think it's widely expected this game will have to come out at or after Switch 2's release. I don't think they're going to release it before.
Yeah.
So
Switch 2 launch would be so
I think knowing the date of this would give away like probably that. So that's if you see the date next week and they say like, it's coming out on or after, then there you go. You have your answer. And then it obviously looks better. It's like, well, they had to make it run on Switch 1 for people. This has been the case before. So we'll see.
Sick. Samus is back. Metroid's coming. It's good to be alive.
I hope the Metroidvania part of it's still good though. Like they.
Well,
nail
that's the
it.
thing. That's the thing.
It's their namesake.
I didn't say yet, but yeah, it's like the wow factor in a Metroid Prime game is something that you can't really get in a trailer because
slow burn every time.
Yeah, you
slow
just
burn
discover
games.
something and like all of a sudden you're like, how the heck did I get here? Or that was there the whole time? Or yeah.
Totally. So sick. Next up, way too hyped on Disney Villains Cursed Cafe. I really want to stream this
I got you some
tonight
quotes on this
when I get
dumb
home.
game. Yeah, it's out today.
Yeah, it's out today. This shadow dropped.
Full shadow drop.
Gabby cracked me up. What was it like? Shine a new light on classic Disney villains or something. It's like, what is going on here?
I'm loving this, like, looking into the background, like, because, the first time you see something, you just see all the trailers, like, or the characters are in front. But, like, seeing this guy, like, on his Walkman in the back at another table. She's just sitting in the stairwell.
It just looks playful. It looks fun. It looks wholesome. Like, that's all you ever want to see from, like, big corpo Disney, right? This game looks so playful. You got Gaston.
Now that I've read this press release, I understand why Gaston looks like that. Or Gaston. Do you want these quotes? These ridiculous quotes?
Absolutely hit us.
Yeah, players can converse with Cruella de Vil, the evil queen, Gaston, Captain Hook, Jafar, Maleficent, Ursula, and more as you navigate the branching narrative storylines. They're describing this as a visual novel.
Dude.
Literally.
Dude, will Sora appear in the background?
Use ingredients provided by Yzma to brew a variety of potions for each villain to steer them towards their desires, while working to uncover the mystery of this peculiar cafe. Unravel their motivations, Huber.
What if we are Sora? It's our cafe.
Your choices influence their ambitions, and here we go. Will Gaston impress his golf bros? Can Hook steal the spotlight in community theater? Can Maleficent dominate social media?
Oh my God.
And will Ursula become a reality TV sensation?
Dude.
Uncover and influence the villain stories with your potion creation.
That is so awesome.
What the heck?
I'm so in.
It is just full on. It's like, hey, fanfic writers, come here. We'll animate this for you.
It honestly is. Oh, that's so funny. Very cool. Yeah, I love the designs. Obviously, Disney classic villain designs, some of the greatest of all time. So
yeah, but then with the freaking sweater,
yeah,
like
looks so
look
good.
At him, look at the visor.
Yeah,
like,
incredible. So cool. Next up. This game looks incredible.
Oh, Gabby, we got shade for not remembering this game.
Yeah, Gabby was dying. I mean, if you announced your game 7 years ago or whenever the hell, like, sue us. Come on, dude. Don't give us shade. We see 5,000 games a day. There are so many games. But Witchbrook has re-revealed itself.
They did call this a reveal trailer.
An announcement trailer. Yeah, like, what? But Witchbrook, they've been working on it for a long while, and you are at it's a Witch Academy life sim. The visuals are incredible. The level of detail specifically with the pixel art is just so intricate. It looks so amazing.
Yeah, there's so much going on in like each one of these scenes. It's like just trying to pick it all apart.
Damiani is out because this game is isometric. Yep. It's 4-player online co-op, which is insane. This one comes out holiday, so this was a little further down the line.
Yeah, actually, just overall, like that's kind of an interesting thing about this direct is like it's kind of like, no, don't forget the Switch. Like it's still got some life left in it. If you're nervous that you're not gonna be able to upgrade yet, and you're not gonna be able to have any games, you're gonna get left behind. Like we got all this stuff.
Yeah,
we got some games coming out in the summer. We got some games coming out in the holiday. We got some games coming out next year.
Holiday, dude. Is this thing going for GOTY? Like, this game looks fantastic. Coming out on PC, Switch, and Xbox. Learn new magical abilities to support yourself, local businesses, and the community. Very wholesome. Make friends and find romance. There's romance, Isla.
There we go. Then we got a video game on our hands.
Amidst a colorful cast of dateable characters.
Hell yeah.
Looks like there's pets too.
Gabby, you were so hyped. Do you have anything to comment on Witchbrook?
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And Laura said he would play with me, so.
Yeah. She wants to play with you, Huber. Yeah, the pixel art is
100%.
incredible in this.
Chucklefish. Where do I know them from?
Eastward is one that they published as well.
Eastward. Chucklefish. 2011. And Wargroove.
Wargroove, yep.
Wargroove 1 and 2 and Starbound were the ones they developed. Got it. Cool. Yeah, looks fantastic. We won't forget it this time, chat, okay? We will not forget. Next up, speaking of returning legends, Goldman.
Oh, yeah. They had a little montage, and Goldman was in there.
Goldman is back. There's a little montage. Goldman, Gradius.
Yeah, there's Gradius. They said.
Gradius,
Yeah.
10 out
Gradius
of 10.
Origins, nice little collection
That
there.
is my childhood right there, dude. Game Boy version. Gradius was on Game Boy or Raiden. Always get them mixed up.
R-Type was on Game
Oh
Boy,
my
for
God.
sure. I don't remember a Gradius on Game Boy.
So fun, regardless. Love these games. Rift of the Necrodancer as well, and Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi plot.
Tamagotchi, they said, shattering a lot of our lives
Yeah.
because we've said
Yeah,
Tamagotchi.
Whoa, God, that's crazy.
Right, Isla? Isn't that crazy?
I mean, the fault is on us for assuming a bunch of elementary school kids knew how to pronounce Tamagotchi. But
fair.
damn, this is life changing.
Yeah, I
wow.
know. Yeah, chat was shook. We were all shook. We were like, Tamagotchi? What? And then, just another quick shout out to Goldman. That looks so good. And then, of course, another huge megaton hitter, another Pokemon. Pokemon Legends, Za.
Z to A.
Pokemon Legends, Za.
Same city as X and Y.
Oh!
Lumiose City. Yeah, it's
Some lore. Dude, my Pokemon lore
there's
is
some NPCs
next
in
to
there.
nothing, so educate me. What do we think about this? I will say that, I don't know anyone more critical of Switch graphics. This looked cozy.
Yeah.
I like how it
I mean,
looks.
there are textures,
Yeah.
so that's good.
Again, it's just all art style. Like Metroid as well. Metroid looked really good to me. I was like, it looks like the textures aren't good, but it's just all about that art style. So, yeah. But, Pokemon, what do we think?
Well,
Oh, yeah, go for it, Damiani.
I mean, yeah, I don't. There seems to be. First, I'll preface this by saying there's a lot of like discourse out there to say that this game looks like terrible or something,
Whoa.
and that like Game Freak is lazy. And I'm like,
Whoa.
I'm looking at this, and I guess,
saying
yeah,
that
this
for
definitely
years.
looks like a Switch game. It definitely looks like Pokemon. It definitely has some performance issues when I watch it, but I was like. I also remember Scarlet and Violet looking, and it was that was more ambitious, but that like looked way worse. So
Yeah, far
having
worse.
Yeah, having one that's a little bit more focused and like smaller scale, even though it has like these bigger, these big environments, like the wild zones, but it's not true like open world. I think that's fine because I think this does look better. And also, I think the important part always is going to be gameplay evolution. And the combat system. First time you're getting like in a mainline Pokemon game like this where the combat is real time, where you can dodge attacks. You can have your Pokemon dodge attacks physically, moving out of AoEs and shit. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
surprise
That's
attacks,
a
they pointed out.
huge
Yeah.
changer. So it's
Yeah.
not turn-based, Damiani, is what you're telling me right now.
Right, yeah, everything's on like a cooldown, I believe, and
like
then
ATB or
also
what?
I was just gonna say that.
recontextualizing your childhood about when you used to sneak up on the NPCs to like on an enemy when you got an advantage on it. But in both Pokemon games, that wasn't the thing. You didn't sneak up on them and get an advantage. You were trying to like bypass the fights, but now they're like incentivizing you to like sneak up and sneak attack them. So it's like. Oh man, you gotta look back at those old Pokemon games and be like, was I really like, what was I doing back then? Was this how it was supposed to be?
What was I doing?
If they ever remake, they did remake it, the one, but if they could take it a little bit further, who knows? But I don't know. Like, I feel like the last few entries, they've been trying to do something new. Scarlet Violet, open world, the debatable pronunciation of Arceus. I'm not getting into that. Legends, like showing you like the past and like giving you a more like a different style of like focusing on capturing and cataloging Pokemon as a means of progression. And now this, I feel like, other than like the visuals and some other more, I don't know, like hyper fixated issues that like certain more hardcore fans generally get, like, I feel fans tend to get a little too fixated on, in my opinion.
Passionate fan
They've
base
been
Pokemon.
doing the gameplay ask for and to some extent, it's not like they're just literally copy pasting the last game and just making it again. They have been trying to take some risk here. So I do feel like some of the discourse, like, that's my thoughts. That's my opinion on it. So I feel some of the
Mixing it
discourse
up.
is, definitely not in all in good faith, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I think that, as jarring and obvious and frankly unacceptable as some of the graphic stuff
Unacceptable.
in the previous, in the mainline Pokemon game was.
Unacceptable.
There
Straight
was a
up.
lot of praise for what they were doing to push the formula forward, the gameplay and the design forward.
I think the expectations should be as high or higher than just about every game ever released. Because who makes the most money in the world? Pokemon.
Right.
Straight up.
Exactly.
Straight up. More than entire companies, dude. Pokemon is raking it in, and they should absolutely be putting out top quality products each and every time.
Like Scarlet and Violet, like many of their games, they sell twice. Obviously people aren't expected to buy both, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, and I also don't want to be a defender of like corporations. Obviously we're fans of some of their work, but like what you're saying, Huber, about like they should be putting this money into. That's an argument I hear a lot lately about a lot of like games where people are dissatisfied about some aspect of them, and part of me feels like it could be true, but also, do you really know what's going on behind the scenes? Like, not all money a game ever makes goes into the next game at these giant companies.
definitely.
They go
You don't
into
want
so
to
many
either.
different departments
Of course.
and budgets. And obviously that could be a problem. You can complain about that. Like, you don't like the current state of how businesses are run. It's a wholly different topic. But in terms of this, it's like they are literally just like, it's not like, oh, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, one of the best-selling games, and Pokemon, one of the best-selling series. So why aren't they dumping like billions of dollars into the next entry? Just like, that's not how
Not billions,
it works.
but like
Yeah,
enough
I'm
to have a stable
exaggerating.
frame rate, dude. Like,
Well, that's the thing. People so the question is like, if they have that much money, why isn't Pokemon the best looking, most complex, like innovative games? Why aren't they poaching the best talent from everywhere, and just making the best game ever made? And they will always point to, well, each entry makes so much damn money, doing, in their argument, so little different. Why do they have any incentive to change? And in some context, that is sometimes a valid argument. Like we do throw this back at Nintendo a lot. Like, why would they ever do something different when their games are selling so much money? But at the same time, I also think too many people don't fully understand the context of how hard it is to make a game and what goes into it, and make it sound as simple as throw more money at it and you fix it, which is the worst strategy ever. Of, there's a problem, throw more money at it. How many like times have you heard like that lesson that like, no, don't do that, it's bad business? Like,
I
don't
do
do
think that the Scarlet Violet thing, though, is that it's not just like, oh, this looks bad, right? Like, it is actually like a quality issue.
It's a quality issue.
It's
like delay your game instead
bugs
of putting
and problems and things like that. And to me, that's like, it's not just that like, oh, well, it feels like the team isn't getting the support to fulfill the vision they have for this game, or the time that they need to polish it and get it ready. It feels like they just don't have the option to delay. So it's like, if it's not ready, it's not ready. So, but even a long time afterwards, like even with patches and stuff, like there were still problems. So
Chad was saying like let me get rid of this B-roll so I can cut to myself. Chad was saying, like, you know, it would be fine if the games looked kind of crappy if they ran super well, or like if the gameplay was revolutionary. But like for so many of these titles made by a big company, it's like gameplay, performance, or visuals pick any none. You know, it's like, what's the point? Like, I don't. Yeah, it's weird that at least one of them doesn't hit. Like on so many of these.
But yeah, we're sidetracked though because I do think that this game looks good. I think this is actually the balance of like where
it looks fine. It looks like it almost has a frame rate, and like hopefully it's a cool game and runs well.
And I think it's another opportunity for a Switch 2.
Yeah, Switch 2 edition for this probably. Yeah.
Like, let's see that.
Almost
yeah,
certainly,
for sure. Yeah. And then like other ones, I need to push back one last time though. Yep. The last thing I'll say is like that's not it's the higher ups' fault then at the company. It's not the game developers because Game Freaks, the developers get the thing. If your executives are forcing you onto a shitty schedule, then like. They're like, you don't get more time to release this game. Like maybe Scarlet Violet needed like 5, 6, 7 years because look at the game development cycles now for AAA games. Like how long they take to come out and look halfway decent and as good as they do. And if they're like, no, set schedule every 2 years or every 1 year, new Pokemon game. Like it was what happened with Call of Duty. You know, it started to suffer because of that, and they started to like ease off. Assassin's Creed, same thing. Had to ease off a little bit because they knew they were pushing too hard.
You got thousands of creatures, and you've got to support like animations for every one of them, and all the people's freaking back catalogs that they've ported from the Game Boy and all this stuff. You know, it's like,
Pokemon Za, we are in Lumos City. From Pokemon X and Y, Lumiose City. X and Y, that's one of the last ones I like really, really played a lot of, actually. That's cool. Wild zones to catch Pokemon. You can explore rooftops. Yeah, we see the character like doing an air dash or a glide off this big roof. There's night tournaments, which are battle zones. There's surprise attacks, so a little bit of stealth. And the Z to A is because you start at rank Z and you have to work your way up to rank A. Very anime.
So is that one rank, or does it go backwards?
Z, Y, X, all the way.
Yeah, all the way through the alphabet.
Bottom to top.
Yeah. Very cool. And that's late 2025. So, Switch 2 next week. We could easily see this again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we do. Really want to see those comparisons. So excited for next week. Oh my gosh. All right, just a few more here. Rhythm Heaven Groove coming out in 2026.
2026.
So we got a 2026er here, which is pretty intense. But Switch isn't going anywhere. Yeah, this looked bizarre.
Yeah. Well, Rhythm Heaven is one of those things where
I'm
like
unfamiliar with Rhythm
Yeah, like
Heaven.
WarioWare, you kind of just get all of these kind of like zany just like a billion different art styles and just fun kind of like creative, inventive rhythm games. I haven't played a ton of them, but it's like one of those like very appreciated from afar, like because it is so distinct. You know? You kind of like Patapon, right? It's like what else is like it? I don't know. You know, it's like it's Rhythm Heaven, like, and you basically just play like with one button. You know, like it's about keeping that timing.
You vibing this, Isla?
I don't know.
No.
Well, she's just seeing the tutorial bit. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they're actually changing notes. Each one of those is a different note. And this is just it's kind of a slow in terms of a trailer because it's like building up to like, is this Rhythm Heaven or is it not? You know?
Yeah.
And then once you start to see some other things, then it's like, yes, it's Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like as the person controlling the stream, I was freaking out that something was wrong with the stream setup because it was so silent for so long. I was like, and then none of you were talking either, and I was like, what the shit? I was like, I thought I lost audio. I was like, well, I'm screwed. I gotta figure out how to like restart the audio driver without restarting the stream, which is like I think impossible. So I was like, good luck. But then thankfully, I heard a voice.
And it's sort of a thing too. It's like, once you know what it is, then you don't need a whole lot more because it's all about that surprise when you play it. Yeah,
I know. I like all the different visual styles. That looked really cool. Next up, nice, good serving of confusion. Virtual game cards announcement. Let me read this quote here that Bloodworth has. Okay, this is settle in. It's kind of a long quote. Similar in concept to moving physical game cards between systems, virtual game cards make it possible to eject.
Eject, yes. Oh, yeah. Ejected, that game we played.
Yep.
Can you eject in
How's
this game?
Ejected doing?
I thought you were like talking about like Jekt, like Titus's father. It's like
Oh, whoa.
Deep.
Jekt.
Possible to eject a purchased digital title from one Nintendo Switch system and load it onto another, whether it belongs to a member of the same Nintendo account family group or a second system tied to your account. This optional feature allows you to view virtual game cards or eject them from your system. The digital game can also be lent to a Nintendo account family group member system via local wireless connection. Games that you lend can then be played on a Nintendo account family group member system for 2 weeks. We're bringing back video game rentals Blockbuster style. After which the game will be automatically returned to you. Can you just then lend it again and just like 2 weeks?
Exactly.
This feature will be available on Nintendo Switch starting late April, coming up via hardware system update. Additionally, virtual game cards will also work with Nintendo Switch 2 systems at launch. So that was kind of the big kicker. Yeah, for me, this just seemed like a way to... I don't even know, because if you boot up your Switch 2 and you have your Nintendo account, your library should just be there. You can just download it.
No, that's not what this is
Yeah.
for. This is literally for people that have multiple Switches.
Okay.
And that's only,
So families...
Right. Yeah. So, like what they're saying, so basically the trouble you get into now if you have multiple systems is like you have a primary Switch that you can basically do whatever on, and then you have a secondary Switch that, okay, you can use this, but you kind of need like an internet check-in.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if you don't get an internet check-in, you'd boot up a game on a plane, and it's like,
happened to me before,
I can't check in, I can't play the game.
Yeah, it happened to me.
And so this now instead, you basically like move your game from one system to the other. And then the lending thing is like if you have somebody in your family group, then you lend your game from one system to the other and they can play it for, 2 weeks or however long. And then when it comes back, they still have to save for the next time they get it or if they buy a copy themselves.
It kind of seems like the way I haven't used it, but the way I understand like library, like lending works with like audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Because
like,
they only have so many licenses.
yeah, they
right?
have so many licenses. So you're like waiting in line for a license to come back, and then you have it for a week or whatever, and then it goes back on the pile,
Yeah.
It seems kind of like that, sort of.
Yeah, the sort of limitations is that you can only lend a game to somebody that's near you. You have to have it through a local wireless connection. You can't just
2
do it to
million
anyone
member
online
groups.
because then people will be running freaking... they would be making bank running their Netflix to their friends, basically.
Tell me, Ani, what'd you make of all this?
Was very confused in the moment, but after reading the Patrick Klepek's breakdown, all I needed to the pointing out that you can just opt into the old system. So if this just seems like a disaster, as long as I can do it the old way, that works perfectly fine for me. Not a problem.
Great.
I also don't really know how much of an advantage people are really going to take about this. Like, I feel like this is very niche. I don't.
Yeah.
Originally, I thought it might be more widespread, but now, like, the more I read about it, I was like, who is this really going to be that big of a deal for? Like, are a lot of people going to be utilizing it? I don't know. Maybe I'm out of touch and don't know, but it does not seem like this is going to be a big deal. And most people who already are familiar with the existing system will probably be like, I just want to use the old system. So
There it is. Sweet. We saw another montage.
Mm-hmm.
High on Life was in there.
Yeah, so there's a few like older games getting ported,
Star
and then some
Overdrive,
games that are
Wandering Village
not
looks
out
great.
yet.
King of Meat sounded and looked pretty cool. Lose Lagoon
Yeah,
looks
Don
good.
got to check out a demo of that a while back.
Fantasy Life, Saga Frontier 2 Remastered was definitely the big one that stood out to me. And then Monument Valley 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, Saga Frontier 2 Remastered.
Yeah,
Looked
those
really good.
weren't all in a montage. I just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some of the textures we were talking about looked a little weird. Some of the backgrounds.
Yeah, the background.
Kind of
art,
like remember the Final Fantasy IX remaster kind of had that problem? Which is kind of
the Final Fantasy IX remaster? What?
from back in the day, like years ago.
I mean,
Not the remake.
No, not remake.
9 had a
but
remaster?
They're just a re-release.
The re-release, the port.
Okay.
Sorry,
It's like,
sorry.
oh, what did
Yeah.
I miss here?
The like up-resed port, not quite a remaster.
I was like, damn, No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I know. Like some of those have had not even that. Like even some people, not pixel remaster, but when the original 6 Final Fantasies came to like iOS, like people hated that smoothed out the effect they did on the art, and people complained about it. Also, I saw people complaining about the fonts for this, and Square Enix and retro revivals. The fonts have been pixel remasters. They had to add an extra font, and even then, like people are like, it's not as good as the one you can mod in with the PC versions because you can just literally take the cool fonts from the old games and just insert them in. So,
what's one of your favorite fonts?
Albertus is pretty cool. I like that one.
I know you're a font connoisseur.
I like fonts.
Hell yeah. All right, next, a crazy one.
Yep.
Truly, I know I fucking say this all the time. Truly one of my favorite franchises of all time. I know. Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots.
Yep.
Everybody's Golf. It's called Hot Shots Golf in America. Now it's just like Everybody's Golf or whatever. Yeah, they're just universal title. But now it's Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, which is really cool. It's like Resident Evil Biohazard, Resident Evil. It kind of reminds me of that. I adore this franchise. I love it so much. The last one I played quite a bit, but some of the heart was gone because it was more like online focused, create a character. I like when it's the traditional characters because Hot Shots Golf just has really kooky, awesome characters. You can be Kratos in one of them in like the PSP or Vita version, I remember. But yeah, these are just so fun. Obviously, there's some comparisons with Mario.
Oh, this is the
Golf.
wacky golf here. This is the tornadoes and the monoliths and all these other obstacles and things there.
Yeah, these games are so fun, and it's just crazy. It's another, PlayStation thing.
Yeah. This is the same setup. Whatever this deal is that Bandai Namco did with Sony, because they're publishing this as well, even though it's a Sony Interactive right there in the copyright. And just like the other one, just like Patapon, it's PS5, PC, Switch, no Xbox.
For now, maybe.
Yeah.
2025 release, PS5, PC, Switch, couch co-op, and online multiplayer. The brand new Wacky Golf mode is a fun and action-packed variation on the traditional game with a randomized variety of course alterations, obstacles, and more to keep golfers on their toes. Yo, it's not as extreme as Mario Party and GoldenEye, but anytime I play this game, I want to win. So, very excited for the Wacky Golf mode with everybody.
Yeah, they were also really like making a point to say it's got the traditional controls that everybody loves.
Great. Yeah, the meter.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh, it's awesome. Feel good announcement. Dawn, does Dawn have any Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots Golf takes? I feel like Dawn is into this franchise.
He loves it.
Yes, I love it, and this is one of the highlights of the show.
Highlight of the show.
Hell yeah.
One of them.
Great. Now we're going to get to the actual highlight of the show for Dawn. Because this came out of nowhere. Holy shit. Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
It looks so good, dude.
Don't roll your eyes at the Marvel name right now. Just feast your eyes on another .emu beat 'em up, dude. We are in the golden era, man. Tribute games. Like, this is out of control. Just when I think they're like doing not too much, but like I think they have their hands full with all the games coming out.
Right.
Here is another one, dude. At first, I thought it was Captain America and the Avengers, which is old.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be an older game at first.
Old Genesis beat 'em up game I had. I was like, oh, like a remaster. Then I see Wolverine and the Sentinels, and I'm like, oh, is it X-Men the arcade game, like sequel? But
it
it's
is
got
definitely inspired by that.
Yeah.
They made references in the email there. Yeah.
God, dude. Yes. And of course, we get the 6 cinematic trailer that goes into gameplay. We do see a nice handful of gameplay. No HUD, but
True.
But God Almighty, just like Streets of
Some
Rage,
HUD, but not the full life bars and all that. Yeah.
yeah, just like Streets of Rage and Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. I mean, the art style is just gorgeous, unbelievably gorgeous. Beat 'em ups speak to my heart, speak to my soul, get me so friggin' hyped. This is from .emu and Tribute, the studio behind TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, and Panzer Paladin. It's coming out on PC, Switch, PS4, 5, and Xbox this time. They made it to the party. The first set, just the first set. Remember, Shredder's Revenge has been adding characters too. The first set of playable characters from the roster: Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Storm, Phyla-Vell, whoever the hell that is.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Venom, and Nova. The immortal supervillain Annihilus has launched an unprecedented attack across the galaxy, threatening all life as we know it. Choose and control your own team of 2 characters while tagging between them mid-fight with the innovative Cosmic Swap system. Capitalizing on distinct superpowers and special attacks to create unique team-ups and dish out devastating damage. Supports 4-player, drop-in, drop-out, local, and online co-op with cross-play. Such a win.
That's how to do it.
I am going to filibust until Dawn speaks. Dawn must speak.
On his way.
Venom looks so good.
Every time he knows when I'm going to ask him to talk, and then he just leaves, dude.
No,
there he is.
You're right on with this. I mean, what Blood said, I guess it's just doing every single thing we want a beat 'em up to do. It's covering all the bases, and the art style is sick, extremely reminiscent of Turtles.
Yeah.
Almost identical, which is a good thing. I mean, that's a compliment. And the swapping mechanic, it just sounds so fun. I mean, what can I say? The game looks perfect. It looks just like nonstop
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's powers looked so cool.
Yeah, all the moves. Venom, I love that big move Venom with all its little tentacles whipping out everywhere. And
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, super sick.
Yeah, because they've announced, so that's 7 characters. So if you play with 4 players, does each player get to choose 2? So you would need 8.
There needs to be. They haven't revealed them all.
8 players, yeah. So I wonder, Dawn, if we roll in 4 people, 2 players each, if there's an 8-person super move that you can do to build up a meter or something.
That would be great.
Where all 8 people get in. Oh my God, yeah. And just showing 7 characters for now and just saying that there's going to be more. I mean, who knows how many characters this game's going to have.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Super, super nice.
Any other hype from the panel? Damiani, I know you've been getting in on Streets of Rage and Shredder's Revenge as of late.
This looks amazing. Keep these coming.
Yeah, yeah. Keep them coming.
They never stop making these. These will
Yes.
we'll never stop playing these .emu. So keep developing, publishing these, and I mean, what Turtles, Power Rangers, this
Power Rangers 2 we just had.
Yeah, there's what other cool franchises?
Double Dragon we've got.
I mean, we also got this coming out, right? Revive, that's later this year.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what else, man.
Yeah. I know it's
they
crazy.
Just keep wowing me.
We need a D&D one. That'd be sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Dude, Dawn, will they add the Punisher in this game? Little throwback to the old Punisher. Beat 'em up.
Punisher and Nick Fury combos.
Dude!
He's so good. I don't know if there were so many guns. I don't know if the guns will go.
True, yeah.
I think
Guns and
it's fine.
grenades. Yeah, a little
Extreme
intense.
violence. The grenades.
Totally. Oh, okay. So hyped. So hyped.
I'm reading about Phyla-Vell.
Yeah, who is that?
Tied in with Captain Marvel and stuff, all kinds of stuff.
That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, I mean it's complicated. But I was looking in personal information.
Yeah.
And it says base of operations, Hell.
Yo!
Formerly mobile.
Formerly mobile, currently residing in hell.
Base of operations, Hell. It's oh, okay, cool.
Awesome. Get that character in. That sounds so fun. Next, we had Tamagotchi, not Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi Life. Living the Dream.
Yep.
Best subtitle ever. I'm surprised there hasn't been a Yakuza game called Living the Dream. That's
True.
a good subtitle.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another one of these games where it's just like utter freak show.
Utter freak show. Utter freak. Explain that, Blood. What do you mean by that?
Because it's just like that's sort of like what it's about. It's like, you know, it's sort of like The Sims or whatever in a way, but with me characters. But there you end up like watching their lives, and then these just bizarre, strange things end up happening. And this, it's like they say, it's like, oh, you can look into their dreams, and you get this shot where like
It's almost like No More
this
Heroes.
giant person comes up and talks to this person on the beach. Yeah, look, they're like just throwing random stuff at each other.
Like, where's Travis touchdown?
Yeah, and the original game, which I didn't play a lot of, or I don't know if I haven't played it at all, but just from familiarity with it, like one of the hooks was that like these are a lot of your friends' me's and stuff like that, right? So you would see
That is so fun.
Isla doing something,
That's
or you would
so
see
fun.
Dawn doing something, and you check in. Yeah, here's the beach scene.
Yeah, this is freaky. A giant woman comes up and is like, "Do you want to play a game?"
But it was like a perspective joke because
Yeah.
you thought she was super like far away, and then she was all of a sudden there.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that like it does these little things that like just kind of like play with expectations a little bit. Yeah, you're like watching this person sleep on the chair, and they're like, oh, there's a little fart that comes out. Yeah.
This is one of those 2026 releases
Yeah.
Damiani was talking about earlier. And what's really fun, even though this is a franchise I'm pretty unfamiliar with, I always love and respect. This is the first brand new entry in over 10 years. So that's always so exciting for fans, dude. Getting a new entry in after that long, that rules. And like you were saying, Blood, create your own me characters based on yourself, friends, family, anyone, and watch them live their lives on an island out at sea. Get involved with the relationships and experience all the weird and wonderful ways these me characters interact. I saw some disappointment. Obviously, everybody wants Animal Crossing.
Oh,
Hasn't been one
Oh. Yeah, I didn't
since
see that, but okay.
2020.
I don't think that was gonna be in here. Yeah.
Is there any chance we see Animal Crossing next week, or that's still years away?
Possibly.
I think there's a chance, but I kind of don't think we will yet. I think
whatever
Animal
that-
Crossing will be another year or so out. I think with this though, I'm curious whether we're gonna get any kind of Street Pass acknowledgement on the Switch too. Because that's something that people missed with the Switch from
Yeah,
the 3DS,
yeah.
and this is a game that would really benefit from a Street Pass feature. You know, you go to an event and you pick up,
You're so right,
you know,
Blood.
Miyamoto's Me or
Dude,
something,
you're
and yeah,
so right, Blood.
The gold
Oh my
Miis, yeah.
God, you're so right. Wow. Maybe we will learn more
yeah.
next
Love Street
week.
Pass.
Got a lot riding on next week. And last, and certainly least, actually,
We got to see Miyamoto.
we got to see Miyamoto, which is always an honor and a privilege and a joy whenever Miyamoto speaks. I mean, this is, one of the fathers of this industry. So anytime he comes out, it's a huge deal. But he came out and he announced a Nintendo Today app,
yeah.
which didn't really land for me personally. What did we think, panel, of how this direct ended with Miyamoto and the app?
I don't think it should have been at the end. I don't know why they decided to put it at the end. Like, we probably should have just bundled that in with the virtual game cards, put it in the middle, and then, yeah.
That would have been a good time for it. You're so right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you wanted to close on a first party game, then close with Tomodachi Life or
Yeah.
Pokemon or Metroid. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I've never really, like, browsed through the Switch news channel or anything like that. And there are more things there. So it might be worth just, like, peeking through in a week or so and see what all they have. Because they talk about not just news, but, like, little comics and things like that. I saw a pretty astute observation that, like, hey, if you want to get off Twitter but you want to keep up with Nintendo, there you go.
That's pretty good.
Like,
That's a great spin, actually. That's a great sell.
yeah.
Damiani, you are tapped into the Nintendo ecosystem. Does this excite you?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I'm
Not at
not
all.
excited about this.
No hesitation.
They've definitely had like some weird things like this, but the way it was presented at the end of a presentation, with like after their one last thing announcement too, it's like here's our last game announcement, and then it's like, oh, we have another announcement. I feel like that it sets it up to be like a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I agree
Miyamoto's
with
out
Blood.
there too. You're like, what the
Yeah.
hell is going on
to,
here?
to Nintendo, they probably think it is a big deal, but it honestly felt like initially, they had me in the first half meeting with me. I thought like Miyamoto was gonna like talk about the Mario movie because they didn't do anything for Mario Day. I was like,
right.
this movie's a year away. It's like only a year away, and this is when they showed
Yeah.
the stuff. Like we started seeing stuff for the Mario movie originally. Like they're taking like it's about time. Like where's the stuff? And unless it's getting delayed. And so I was like, oh, they're going to show us a trailer for the movie. Sick. Like, here we go. This is awesome. Like, or
that
like
would've
a
been-
teaser. Like that 20-second clip or whatever. They showed of like Mario and meeting Toad for the first time. And then looking at the Mushroom Kingdom. And that was like it. It was like very quick. And wasn't even that. And I was like, oh, they're talking about directs. I'm like, oh shit, are they going to do a new format? Because, as I said, they pioneered this format, made it popular. Everyone laughed at them, said like, oh, you're like, no more live events. Haha, good luck with that. Now everyone does a direct format, pretty much. So it's like, damn, they're about to
calls it a developer direct.
yeah. It's like we're about to get like a new like revolutionary thing here. It's neither of those. And it's like, so on two fronts, it's like, sure, the first one was a little bit like me, but like it was on me, but you don't have Miyamoto come out after like the last announcement saying, oh, there's an actual last announcement.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and it's not game. I was like, okay, maybe it's the theme park. Maybe he's gonna announce like the Zelda park or something at like Universal. I was like, what is it? What is this craziness?
Your mind was
And, like,
racing.
yeah, and it's like, okay, we came down a level. I'm like, all right, new direct format. Okay, this could be like, this will be important. And it's like, we went down to the bottom of the barrel. It's like, okay, that is nowhere, should be nowhere near the end. I'm like, I get it, Nintendo. You're happy with that. You need to advertise it. That was the wrong moment, wrong spot for that. That was not
So did I.
good. This was actually like a rare in a long time miss for them
rare
in terms
miss.
of like an announcement like landing and sticking. And I think even as time goes on, it's gonna be like, no, that was terrible. Like that was not a good idea. The timing of it. Yeah.
Yeah, especially to end on the app when you have Metroid and a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And a new Marvel game as well.
Right.
In there. It's like, and
yeah,
Tamagotchi returning after over a decade. Like, crazy.
Yeah, I could see them not ending on Marvel just because it's not first party.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird thing to end on.
Yeah. All right, and that was it. Whew. Good.
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 Like
I had no
for
expectations.
Nintendo Direct happening
Exactly.
less than a week before another Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Not gonna blow me away or anything, but some good stuff in there.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it also hinges on next week.
Yeah.
If we get to see those comparisons, I think it is so paramount and so crucial to, to me at least. I would just really like to see
Yeah.
those side by sides. So
I would see Nintendo specifically not doing that for that reason.
I know, totally. Like they won't even have Metroid or Pokemon there.
Yeah, to like not make people stop buying
You're so right.
the Switch one.
You're so right. You're absolutely right. All right, that was the Nintendo Direct, and now let's get into a very difficult video game. The First Berserker, Khazan. This game rips, dude.
Nice.
I love this video game. It is awesome. It has the one, the only Ben Starr.
Say it. Yeah.
Ben Starr's doing good. He's everywhere. He's on stage at GDC.
There's actually a lot of Final Fantasy 16 voice cast in this game. There's like 5 or 6 voice actors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, but the First Berserker Khazan is basically a Souls-like.
Okay.
It's Souls-like-esque. And it is from a Korean studio as well. So, like, dude, they have just been killing it, man. Like, Liza P, Stellar Blade, Berserker Khazan. Like, they are just making some of my favorite games in the last bunch of years. And, like, Khazan, I may not like as much as those two, but I do. I really, really love this game. So, basically, it starts out, you're like this old war hero, and your country turned on you, like, broke your arms so you can't fight anymore. It's a very brutal game, very dark game. And you get possessed by like this cabal of demons, basically. This, there's like a bunch of them, but they act as one. It's like this hive mind demon, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Gives you a bunch of power. They're trying to take over your body, but then it's an uneasy alliance. Top 10 tropes. You are trying to get revenge on the people that wronged you. And it's a little more similar to like Wukong because the levels are really linear and really straightforward.
Got it,
eventually in a level you can unlock shortcuts, but it's not like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, that style, these big open world environments. It's level based.
But it does have like more of that like not quite anime art style, but it's pretty close. It's like a little bit more. Like you can kind of like see the like sketch lines and stuff, and some of the textures is pretty nice.
Like Asura's Wrath, maybe a little bit. Like I don't know,
a little bit, yeah.
Like with what you're specifically, I know that does lean a little bit more anime.
Yeah, I mean, like Asura's Wrath is 100%. Whereas this seems like it just has like a touch of that, yeah, with like the character designs and stuff.
Okay, so the main thing in this video game, again, this game is freaking diabolically hard. This game is insane. There is an easy mode. There's an easy and a normal. I'm playing on just normal.
Say, hey, you're not like selling me on like the super hardness of
dude.
it.
But here's the thing, Damiani, and I want to, last week we were talking about Assassin's Creed. This is a game so difficult, but also so fun and rewarding that I like the challenge and I want to beat it because I'm enjoying it so much. It's so rewarding when you finally beat a boss or get through a really hard encounter, because the combat is just so good. The main part of combat, stamina management and parrying. So if you don't like parrying, this game is not for you.
Born to Rage.
Like, this is the most parry-heavy game I have played since Sekiro, and it's maybe even more so that you need to parry.
More than 9 Souls?
Yes.
Okay.
Because stamina in this game is really punishing and really brutal. You run out of stamina so easily, so fast. But when you parry, you don't lose stamina. When you block, you do. So if you're just like blocking it, or if you miss the parry and you end up blocking, if you end up missing the parry and blocking the attack, you'll take that stamina damage, and then you can't attack back. Like you have no stamina to attack, like because you're using the stamina to defend. So it is just this crazy management and balance of attack, defend, rest, distance. I mean, there's just so much to the combat going on. Also, there are skill points you get, and there are 3 primary weapon types. There's the dual wield, which is a sword and an axe. Really, really fun. There's a big berserk guts great sword that you can use. And there's also a spear. Because stamina was so intense, and I feel like the flow of this game, to me, lent itself well to dual wield, It's a faster game. I want to get in there. I want to just like, pa. So there's that. You get skill points to unlock abilities for these weapons, and they get pretty complicated. I mean, they really change the flow of combat, like, the more you get into this game, that I really appreciated. For example, with the dual wields, you can unlock this ability to, like, inject the enemies, basically with this, like, orb thing, and then if you do it again, it'll like explode. So that kind of changes, like, okay, am I gonna open with this move? It leaves you really vulnerable if you miss. There's other combos you get that you can like chain into light attack combos. So there's just a lot of depth with each weapon, and all the weapons feel really, really good. Really weighty combat. The combat is just, there's so much weight to it. You really feel the kills and feel the blows.
That's good to hear. You like feeling like the
Yes.
impact of stuff,
Yeah.
and you don't like
Big
it
time.
when stuff is like floaty
Yep.
or
Yep.
just a bullet sponge. Which that there are definitely games where what was it like? I think like Tales of Arise. I played that. Like the boss fights, while they had great mechanics, they straight up like didn't react a lot of the times. No, sometimes Tales bosses have to have like a break state or like armor break. It's
Right.
where they'll actually start getting juggled or something, but a lot of times just like they're wailing on them and they're like just standing there. You're like, what? Like doing all these cool flashy moves. You're not even moving, man. Like what's going on? So I think in these types of games I would appreciate that more. Like
Yeah.
like in a Souls game when you like whack someone with a big ass sword like an enemy, you want to see them like go flying or something, or
Yeah.
like they reel back from that
Dude,
damage.
it's
Like you
awesome.
want to feel that. Yeah,
The freaking
right?
death
Yeah.
blows, like if you eliminate their stamina, they're open for like a visceral attack. Dude, they're insane.
Nice.
That's really good to hear.
Apparently, this
Yeah.
game is set 800 years before the events of the Dungeon Fighter Online
Yeah,
universe.
DNF.
Yeah, it's tied to this.
Tied
stuff.
to DNF.
I don't know any of it, but I just know they keep throwing that out there, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's still cool.
So yeah, the progression is really nice. That's another thing I really want to highlight. I talked about that so much with Wukong, just how you could keep leveling up in Wukong, so it like gave me hope that I would beat it, which I eventually did. True ending as well. But you just kept. I mean, Wukong was so cool because you could reach level 100, and you're still getting skill points that matter. And I was like, that is so awesome to see. This game has gear. There's 5 gear pieces. That you get set bonuses, so you can like swap gear in and out. That's a way to level up your stats. You get basic XP and stat points, just like Souls. If you die, you have to recover your energy.
Yep.
You can put those into 5 or so different stats: strength, endurance, vitality, what have you. So there's that. You also have a spirit companion thing, unseen. But there's you get like a spirit bonus. One of them is like you can level up and it increases your stamina recovery. There's another one that makes your summons stronger. You can summon NPCs. So there's just a lot of the skill points I was telling you about. The whole skill tree is separate. So there's just a ton of ways to level up your character. And that really matters when a game is this punishing. You got to feel that even when you're dying and struggling, you're still making some progress somewhere. And this game does something that I have been asking from games to do probably since Dark Souls 2. Dude, they do it in this game. I'm obsessed. I love it. Okay, so you go into a boss fight. You get like halfway into the boss fight. You die. You still get some XP.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Oh,
Still get
okay.
some XP depending on how well you did against the boss.
reward.
Just a
It
little
says,
bit.
like, boss challenge completed or something.
Yes. So
That's
I
nice.
just love that. So it's like, okay, I died on this boss like 4 or 5, 6 times, whatever, but I got an XP point. Now pump that in. So at least I'm not just like dying.
You're
I
like
mean,
sort of grinding while fighting a boss. Like while losing at a boss, you're still kind of grinding.
yeah.
Interesting. Does it feel like it diminishes the longer you're at it, or?
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
No, it was good. It was good. One of the bosses in this game, I almost hard quit this game. I was texting like Gabby about it, just like, what the hell?
Even getting to the, because I didn't play quite as much as you did, but I got to the first boss and like the first actual big boss.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because like, it's kind of like, some Souls games are like this, but like, I think I died maybe once before getting to this boss.
Yeah, and then you died.
And then
20
I was like on the boss, I was like, oh damn, okay, like this is and I'd beaten like 4 mini bosses by this point,
Yeah.
And like, it was kind of interesting because the challenge, or like what's demanded of you in the bosses, is a little different than what's demanded of you in the main game. Because it's like this game, you have to be cautious and aggressive.
Yep.
You have to go all in, but then watch the enemies to be like, oh, he's about to attack. I'm going to dodge out or parry.
Mm-hmm.
You will get even scrubs will be like two-shot you if you let them hit you. So it's like you better not. But like the first boss it demands a lot more precision and patience and than the normal traversal enemies, environmental enemies, which I thought was kind of interesting because it was like my first reaction was like, you taught me to play the game wrong. Yeah. It was like, oh, I have to be way more attentive to, which is not a bad thing. It's just kind of interesting because I thought the enemies, they weren't easy, but if you've played every Souls game that ever was made, you know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you get to the boss and you're like, oh shit, okay.
There's a hell of a difficulty spike on some of these bosses. I've beat 4 of them, and I think there's 15 or 16 I read somewhere. So this game's pretty long. There's definitely a grinding element, because another way to grind is, I've got no shame. This game is one of the hardest games I've played. You can summon an NPC.
Okay.
But that costs a resource. Mm-hmm. To get that resource, you have to summon hostile NPCs and kill them. So it's okay.
Right.
So there's dude, it reminded me of farming blood vials in the early Bloodborne days of shit, okay, I don't have any summon tokens. Now I gotta go farm these, farm that, then go back, and it's okay, now I've used them all on the boss and I still couldn't beat the boss. Now I gotta go farm them again. That exact same currency that you're using to summon your NPCs can also be used to upgrade them.
Okay.
But it's dude, it's a lot. So it's
right.
Okay, I can either summon 10 times or give them plus 2% attack. Dude, I just yeah. So heavy on the grind, heavy on the difficulty, but Ben Starr kills it in this role. I don't think anybody does punished characters better than Ben Starr now. The absolute peak punished character actor. Let's go. Yeah, so the story is pretty basic so far, but I am invested in his revenge just because of his performance. He's so good. And yeah, this is a game that I think I'll be chipping away at all year probably. I think it's gonna take me all year to beat this thing.
Okay.
The level structure does make it easy to kind of hop in and hop out of. This is a game you can just grind.
Nice. Yeah, because you don't feel where the heck am I? Where was I going?
Exactly.
Got it.
You can grind for 20, 30, 2 hours.
Which I had a little bit of last time I popped into Stellar Blade. I was in the wasteland somewhere.
Yeah, you're what?
I was doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, super good game. I really recommend it. The progression is awesome. The combat's awesome. The parrying, the defense. It's just a really rewarding game, and it's super polished, and the vision is there. Really great game. First Berserker Khazan, I recommend.
Sick.
Yes. Isla, you gonna get back to it, you think?
Nah.
No.
Oh my god.
Which is shocking
Always.
because the gameplay, I was thinking about it because the gameplay is so Blades of Mercy dual wield aggro style that you love.
Oh, for sure. No, I loved it.
Yeah.
I super into it. Really cool. Played it.
You're good.
I'm good.
You're good.
I have. Mommy has another mistress right now, and I don't care about anything else.
Yes,
but I
yes,
can't
yes,
talk
yes.
about it.
Yes. Spoiler alert. All right, next up. Change of pace here.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
Atomfall, dude. Atomfall.
Which is funny because, we're not going to get Isla's attention, but I do think that you would like this game too.
Yeah.
I've never liked anything, but.
Well, yeah, which you
Blades
might
of
not
Mercy.
expect just from looking at it real quick, but it is very much like a giant puzzle box.
Yeah.
Of a game.
It is
I'm
so
listening.
cozy. It is so fucking cozy. This game is cozy to the max.
Yeah, so you are this alt history thing of the wind scale nuclear disaster or whatever that went down.
Yeah, cozy to the max.
Cozy, full post-apocalypse. Everyone's dead. Cozy.
No, that's the thing though. They're quarantined. They're like in this like quarantine zone in northern England. And so like on the one hand, you've got these bandit groups roaming around, and then in town you've got like this like
Outside looks so good.
overly like militant like patrols and stuff. But the reason that like I call it like a giant puzzle box is because they really, really give it like you free reign to figure out what's going on.
This does look cool.
You wake up,
Totally.
you don't know what's happening.
Go anywhere.
Some guy's
Go anywhere.
Some guy in a radiation suit is bleeding out.
Bleeding out.
And he's like, get to the interchange. And I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And then the phone rings, and they're like, Oberon must die. And they're like, what? And,
I was like, Prince Oberon? Game of Thrones? What? Like,
and then, you follow these leads. So, like, I get to this helicopter crash site. I'm looking around, and like,
I didn't even go. I went another way.
exactly.
Yep.
And it led me to a lead in a rail yard, which led me
Dude.
to a lead in the sewer. But that's the thing is, it's like you just find like you see something that's interesting in the distance, and you go, and then like and even the leads themselves, like sometimes there'll be like a little sketch on the map, but other times it's just like, here are the coordinates, like 28 east by 77 north or whatever, and you kind of like go on your map and like, okay, where about is that? And you like
Yeah.
try to put the circle on there.
On the footage too, 10 out of 10 neck snaps.
I was surprised.
Real
like, I
good
was
neck
going for a
snaps.
stealth kill, and I was like, oh, that's how this goes. Yeah.
Oh, neck snap.
The beginning of my footage is a little dark. I was having that thing where like adjust
Just
to
like
your
same.
monitor
It's a
kind
little,
of thing.
yeah,
and
the
I'm
game's
like,
a little dark. Some spots.
and then it was like, I put it to where like it was hard to see, but then like, no, this is just hard to see, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it back to default.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so Huber, I like, and then
Dude,
I
you're
went,
getting into all sorts of shenanigans, Blood.
right off the bat, I was like, I go into this mine, I'm fiddling around in the dark, and I come out, and like people just start screaming at me and attacking. I'm like, okay, I didn't want to be in combat right now, but I guess I am.
Yeah, this was the game I got to preview in London,
Yeah.
and similar, like I've been playing now the final version for a couple hours, and similar to my time in London, like I just avoid every I'm just like a talker, social butterfly in
Right.
this game. I'm just like, what do you need? Do you need help? What, can I help you? Like, yeah, combat is like the last thing I do. I do like to stomp on the rats though, Blood. That's good.
Yeah, I misunderstood the stomp, because it's like if you're like pointing up too far, you won't stomp, you'll kick.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to point down to stomp.
Yeah. Even the gas mask guy was like, you're really friendly, huh? I really hope that helps you out there. Because I was like, do you need help? Like, can I get you
No, yeah, that's
bandage?
a pretty cool tutorial, is like to teach you about scavenging and crafting. And it's like, go get this guy a bandage.
Yeah, get him
So
a
you
bandage.
find some cloth, you find some alcohol, and it's like, here you go. I hope I see you later.
Yeah.
And then I found this freaking
Dude,
bunker here
Last of Us.
with these feral in there. I'm like,
Oh,
well, I'm
shit.
just gonna see what happens. And
Oh,
they come over
shit.
and like, they like two-shot you.
Yeah,
right?
they're
Like,
insane.
Yeah. And it was like, I don't know whether I should be here right now, but as I do, I ran it back
so you.
a
This is so
few
you.
times to like stealth my way through this thing, find the stuff that was in there, because there was like some good notes and stuff in here.
Really
There's, like, a
good
new lead.
notes, chat. Really good writing. Really good
and that was
voice
the thing.
acting.
There was a lead that was like, that told me where the interchange was.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so I scavenged and stuff in the bunker for a little while longer, and there's like some nice shimmying in
Yeah.
this game. Some Deus Ex style shimmying.
Totally.
Like, go through a vent. Sometimes the vents will be on the floor.
does
Sometimes a
feel
little
nice.
higher up, and so you
Oh,
kind of
the
like reach
rats.
up. Yeah, there's the rats. But see, I'm kicking. I didn't
The New York
realize
subway, Gabby.
I gotta look down a little bit more to stomp. But yeah, these rats are a pain in the butt. There are spawn points for them. I found out later on. So like there'll be just like little rat nests that you gotta bash to
Sick.
keep them from coming out.
Sick.
Here, like I've got like a lawnmower blade. I thought, oh, okay, I'll stealth kill. I'll take this guy out, right? It'll
Next
be good.
snap.
We're all good. I got him. Nobody saw me. Seconds later, some dudes come across the body and they swarm me and I'm dead.
Oh, yeah, you die pretty quick. You go down quick. So
You
combat
do,
is
you do.
not encouraged.
And I think that's a really important part of this, though, because you know me, I like to take my time. I like
Yep.
to sort through and discover every area. Like here, I got into a place that wasn't marked or
Love the
anything
flashlight,
like that.
Bloodworth.
And
It
I found a
highlights-
flashlight. Like heck
Amazing.
yeah. And there's a lot of stuff like that where you just come across things that you
the
don't
sense
know
of
are going to be there.
discovery is amazing.
And so, like, different recipes for things that you're going to craft, you can get them in different ways. And so, like, then, like, sometimes I, actually ended up with a duplicate recipe because it's like I found one way and then I found one another way. And it's like, well, I don't need this. So I went and, like, sold the extra to a trader. Yeah, there's the map there. So, see, like, the whale yard gave me a lead to the sewer entrance.
nice.
So then I could go into the town.
Yeah.
And I managed to find some of those. Yeah, there's some scrap, some good old scrap.
We love scrap. Get your scrap.
And then
The flashlight's really cool though, Blood, because it highlights items that can be
oh, that's
picked
right.
up.
You
And
said
I
that
think
in the
that's-
preview. and
I think that's a really cool
wasn't-
mechanic.
I wasn't using that.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
That's definitely very helpful.
Also, listeners and viewers, this game is so crazy. You can kill or spare just about every character in this game. Which
Wait,
can,
even the bandits? Well, I guess you could not attack them, but
they said you can kill and spare just about everyone in the story and stuff. And then also, so that changes. There's a bunch of different endings. They're all about replayability. And they also said that depending on when you do a mission, Blood, it can
Right.
completely change the context of what decisions you make. Because if you go here first and you learn something about another place,
Right.
that changes, if you had gone to the other place first without that knowledge. So I just think that's really, really cool, and it just highlights how nice the exploration and choices are in this game. I think
Yeah.
I think it's really solid.
yeah, here's the church where you were telling us about. So when
Yeah.
you come across the
Really good interiors.
the murder in the church,
Mm-hmm.
and and the vicar is afraid of the patrols, and he's like, "Look, don't tell anybody about this." And you're like, "Well, I want to solve the murder."
Yeah.
And then so like having to like make those
Some sickle in her
decisions.
belly.
And yeah, and so that's the thing is like on the outside, it's really interesting because like I was starting to say earlier, and I think I got sidetracked.
Sorry.
But the exploration is risky.
Yeah.
Like you don't necessarily
That
go
too.
through and sneak through every little spot because it's so
You're
you go down so
so
quickly. There's
right.
so many guards.
Blood, I love
Yeah.
that, dude. I love when you can't comb the environment with a fine tooth comb 100%
Yeah.
because it's dangerous.
Yeah,
Such a
I
good
gotta
feeling.
move on.
Yeah.
But then you get in here and then you start talking to these guys and you're like trying to feel them out and like, okay, who do I trust? Who do I not
Mm-hmm.
trust? This guy is clearly he's the head of the guard or whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm not really trusting you, but he says if you like get on his good side, he'll let you into the prison and talk to the scientists
Do me
that they
some
apprehended
favors.
and all of that. So this is the interchange humor.
Yeah.
So did you even get to the interchange?
I have not been in the interchange. No,
Okay.
I've been doing some
So-
side quests.
So I did a little bit of the town stuff.
I
and
guess
then,
everything
like,
is a
I
side-
wanted to go back out and like follow that interchange lead and see what was going on there. And then I
Yeah.
just got obsessed with the interchange Huber
Sick.
because you open up this giant vault door
Dude, so sick.
and you get into this place and you just start finding out like more about like
what is going on?
what happened here.
The mystery is good.
and the interchange is like this is gonna look Oberon.
Oberon must die.
Yeah. And so this is like your central thing that you basically like need to unlock because you get into there's like a central computer and there's like an atomic battery and you get the power back on and then you can get into these side rooms, but then see the side rooms also need their own batteries.
so
So
you
then
go
you
battery
got to go
hunting.
out and go battery hunting. So
It's finding the Triforce, Damiani.
so the trader, see, she's got one. First item, there's one of the batteries.
Nice.
She tells you the vicar's got one of the batteries, so maybe you got to get on the vicar's good side.
Taking the vicar out, dude.
There is a lead inside the interchange that was like telling you there's a battery that's probably at the dam, but if I take that battery, what's going to happen at the dam? I don't know. So, and then, I bought a metal detector off of her. So I don't know if
found
you.
one.
Oh, you did get one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is interesting because I'm just like
It's so fun.
It pings off,
Just digging.
and then you dig, and they're like, I got a recipe for painkillers.
Yeah.
Again, like just kind of a random way to
Discovery.
get that. Yeah. I really like the trading system though, because you don't use cash. You have to put up stuff that trader is interested in, because some traders like certain things more than others.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be like a little arrow pointing up, and she'll be like, "Ooh, that's nice."
Yeah.
And there are these scales, and so you put the things that you want on your on that side. You put what you're going to offer them, and you've got to get it to the green to be able to make the trade. And so,
Oh God.
I think that's interesting because it gives you a reason to scavenge for other stuff.
Blood, you play this game like a maniac. Throwing grenades like point blank. Unhinged.
Yeah, I got a skill to disarm traps too. I don't know if you saw that.
That's key. Yeah, I love the skill tree. You find little things throughout the environment, and you can use those to upgrade your skills. It's like a collectible.
Yeah, it's like some kind of stimulants or something like that. But there's also, so you only have like 4 sets of skills that are available at first.
Yeah.
And you find like skill books.
Yeah.
To unlock the other, I think like 8. So.
Super good. Blood, one of my favorite things over the last decade or so of knowing you has been bonding with you about immersive sims, dude. Like, is this scratching your immersive sim itch?
Oh, definitely. You know, like, yeah, because like I was saying, it's like figuring out like, okay, I can go this way, I can go that way, and then trying to see how it all kind of like loops back together, right? Like there's places in the mine that I didn't go, but then when I was in the interchange, I'm like looking down, I'm like, that looks kind of like the mine, but like, how do I get down from here? Because like all the doors were barred off or whatever. And then another thing, like once I opened that vault door and I came back out towards the entrance, then bandits started to be like, oh, what's in here?
Oh,
and so I'm like,
shit.
oh crap, I got to deal with bandits now. But then I turned the power on, and now there's turrets. So now I have to avoid the turrets that I turned on. You know? So there's
so
a lot. There's a lot happening. And then on top of that, like I said, just like following, like, I got so many leads in town so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can follow this murder mystery. I can follow where that scientist is. I can go over to the hotel. Like,
It's so cool.
yeah.
This is a super, super cool video game. You know, just like beat 'em ups, I think there can never be enough immersive sims. It is absolutely one of my favorite genres. They're so smart, these games, you know. They're just so rewarding, like finding things. Like you've just been talking about the sense of discovery and really just getting to choose how you want to engage with the game is so fun. And I just like that they've taken it a step further, kind of, and it's and really honed in on, like, you know, where you go and when you go is such a big deal in the story and how it plays out. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, because like I only kind of happened across the interchange because I went in that bunker. Otherwise,
I'm
I would
sure
have
you have a
just,
ton of knowledge now from there that you can bring into other stories.
Yeah, I would have. You know, if I had not gone in that bunker and I went to the town, I would have just kept following the leads from the town and wouldn't have come back out here at all.
Yeah. Any thoughts, interjections from the panel? Anyone?
It looks cool.
Yeah, Ali, you gonna hop into this? This is like right in your wheelhouse. I feel like this is your jam,
Yeah, it seems neat.
and it's not overly long too. I remember them saying it was like 20-something hours. Like,
That's friendly.
yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like they've made it in a way to be replayable.
yeah.
So I'm curious how different runs and different experiences, comparisons.
Damiani, I know first-person games kind of give you some motion illnesses. Any interest?
I mean, I gotta be honest. It's not the first person nature. I'm just never been into immersive sim games. Like,
dang.
yeah.
How come? Why do you think that is?
I don't. This is gonna sound funny, but I don't. When I like exploration. I like it. The threat I like, the tension is just like something straightforward. For example, like the joy of exploring in like Xenoblade. There is a thrill to it because it's like I can see what if can I get to this spot, but it's mostly about platforming and can I evade an enemy who's way too high level,
blocking off.
So when you were talking about like, hey, it's hard to scout the area and survey because there's too many guards or something. That's how this is handling it. But like this is a little bit more. It feels like you get into like those like more close quarter situations. It gets like really frustrating for me. Especially when you're in first person. So it just starts compounding some of the things I really don't want to deal with in a game. Whereas like Xenoblade, I'm like super zoomed out. I'm like seeing everything. Like if an enemy sees me, it's like, okay, I tried everything. Like it was clearly not meant to be. But also, you know, it's a lot of it is the just like the traversal nature of it. And I honestly, you know, it's like I'll say like it's not always like the combat, like the RPG stuff is separate, but like I just like the simple pleasures, I guess, of just being able to run out into a giant environment, just look around, and when it is something that impedes my progress, it's something that's not. It doesn't become too like tedious or too involved. Like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like when you come across an enemy stronghold, those are like it's a kind of more puzzle based. It involves combat. It's like how am I going to take these out? But it's also it never approaches anything as complex as something as a game like this. So yeah. I prefer things to be on a little bit like the more simple side, and that's where I enjoy
sure.
my experiences a little bit more. Yeah, for sure.
Sick. Any other closing thoughts, Bloodworth?
No. I think I've said it all. It's a pretty sweet game, and I love just kind of like leading by your nose and figuring it out.
Yeah. They were also inspired by Children of Men.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out 2010 movie. Alrighty, that is Atomfall from Rebellion, developed and published that thing. It's on every console, and it is officially out today. It was in early access a couple days.
Got it.
Like they've been doing just with about pretty much every game, it feels like. That early, pay a little more.
Especially on Xbox, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Atomfall. If you're itching for an immersive sim, get in there, because it is scratching that itch. Next up, though, speaking of early access, this is like really early access. Yeah. Wreckfest 2.
Dawn.
Yes, you called it. Extremely early access, Hubert, but we're still excited for it.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, Wreckfest 2 on the horizon. Obviously extremely excited when we heard about this, announced last year, huge fan of combat racing in general, destruction derby style racing, and Wreckfest, the first one, is one of the absolute best ever.
So good.
Yeah. And so this one really continues exactly where the first one left off so far as I can tell, Huber. I mean, it's extremely similar. You can definitely tell there's refinements in the graphics, and there's sort of like refinements in the physics and damage, and all of that.
The visuals are incredible.
The visuals are looking sharp, and also we should say, you're not seeing it at its best right here, okay? But the fidelity will be greater on this game when it's released. But you can already tell that they've upped it a little bit. And then it's just a physics playground in terms of, you see all these bouncing tires and everything about the physics engine. And they have a new one for this, apparently, so it is refined. But the physics in this game are just top notch, and it's one of my favorite things, especially in a racing game like this. So
yeah, they gave me the controller the other day, and the front of my car got so beat up that there was no hood.
There was nothing.
Almost no engine.
There was no wheels, no
front
rims.
wheels were gone, and I'm just like driving around.
And blood was still cooking at like a $1.20 through the dirt. I don't know how the hell. It's one of the funny things about it. There was a good wreck right there.
Yeah.
It's one of the funny things actually I've noticed in this blood is that's one thing that I have noticed. It does seem slightly maybe less forgiving so far in terms of how you're being able to still operate your vehicle like somewhat at a high speed and somewhat being able to maneuver even though you have like insanely critical damage. I mean, in the first one when you'd be losing front end tires and dragging your engine through through the mud, you're really affected. But in this one, you're still able to compete a little bit. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's how they have it tuned in.
I wonder if they'll have modes. Like an arcade
Oh,
mode
sure,
or
sure.
realistic mode.
Possibly, yeah, because there's definitely like a more of a realism to Wreckfest and a lot of other games, but pure fun. That's the thing, though. So the early access, is just there's not a huge amount of material here to go through. They've got about they've got 3 courses. They've got this junkyard, which you're seeing right now, which actually is very similar to a junkyard they had in the first one.
Yeah, it looks similar.
The figure 8, junkyard you had.
So
in the first
classic.
One. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Scares
Here
the
you go.
hell out of me.
Boom! Oh, I worked my way through that time. Watch this next loop is great. I love this. Every time you go through just this T-bone type of situation, you say, "Am I gonna die here?" Oh my God! That time I got lucky. It's like it's like a little tiny lottery win right there. But
I love this like dirt muddy
and
course.
Then this course too.
Oh, yeah, it's a different
really
course.
Awesome, mixed, asphalt and dirt, all kinds, some little hills and turns. But again, this is, if not the same course, it's very similar. I know in name they had the same name, so I think it's the same location as an earlier game. The other tracks available are just a paved, loop, kind of a loop oval. And the last course is this sort of like just physics playground. It looks like it looks a very video game, like no texture kind of.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the test bed like they had in the first one.
Yeah, with giant ramps, loops, all kinds of really fun, kooky stuff. But it's funny for me, I don't know, it didn't do that much because this is what I like the most, the destruction racing in it, a lot more than just fooling around with launching myself into the air in a playground. So that one didn't do a whole lot. Look how this tire gets stuck on me in the front. So I love all this kind of stuff.
I love
I
that.
actually,
That's so
that was
cool.
one of the things I was actually kind of bummed by, Don, is that the final Wreckfest didn't have any of that kind of test zone, nothing that felt like it was inspired by the test zone stuff, right? Because you're saying, it's you could just pile through all kinds of different objects and materials. You could go on loops. You could take your car off a thing and put it through a grinder, and then it was and then the game was. You had the Destruction Derby mode, and then you had the races, but it was all fairly straightforward. And it was I'm hoping that they will give us a more crazy, fun,
I've got a lot of details.
goal-oriented mode.
I've got
stunt
so many
mode, yeah.
details. Would you like some details?
Yeah, read off
Sure.
some details.
They expect a minimum of 12 months in early access. Settle in.
Oh, sure. Yeah, from what we're seeing now, that makes sense.
They plan to deliver a full-fledged racing and derby game with career and multiple modes, deep customization options, modding support, and many languages, and much, much more. There's a patch roadmap as well. The first one's going to be in May, Don. Content patch number 1, they're adding 2 more tracks, 2 more cars.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then they don't know after that, but the final release will have just a full-on career mode, which they're really hyping up, and a ton of customization and tournaments as well, and modding.
Yeah, so out of everything you named, Huber, the career mode, all that stuff, that all that stuff is in the first one. The modding, I'm not so sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, whether or not they had that in the first one. So that definitely could be new. But yeah, that's the question, Blood, too. You're mentioning, you hope they put a little more of that stuff in. It's interesting, because it's earlier when they first announced the game, you heard there was maybe going to be a more story involved as well, maybe some kind of narrative that was in there or something. I'm not 100% on that because we haven't heard a lot more of that. So it's kind of feels like, it's taking a couple of cues, it might be at least, we don't know yet, from something like Trail Out, where it's just a little more arcadey in some of the modes, and maybe they're adding some more story and stuff like that. But it's again, some of what we love the most about Wreckfest, I think, is more of actually a little bit of the realism, It's sort of like a racing sim with just the right amount of arcadey touch to it, but very grounded.
Yeah.
You crash, you get screwed. It's not you're just bouncing off of walls and still moving.
How's the customization in one, Don, for the cars?
The customization is excellent in one. We're talking about performance customization, very deep, all the way through. Shocks, wheels, engines, multiple stages of each, of every category. Not only that, there's a whole category of armor, roll bars, reinforced windows, cages, all kinds of stuff. And then there's a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff in the first one, too. That's one of the interesting things so far. They haven't unlocked any of that yet. None of that is available yet. There's some very simple paint options, I believe, in this, but that's it. They haven't opened up any of the engine modification. all that stuff in the first one, Huber, is absolutely critical.
Hell
like
yeah.
upgrading your performance of your vehicle.
Yeah.
And you really feel it, so you got to tune it. But they nail it. There's a lot of kind of racing games where they get really deep into that sim aspect of it, and that can kind of become a little like overbearing for me. I'm not so into like finely tuning and messing around. But
The
in
Gran
first-
Turismo way.
There you go.
Right.
But the first Wreckfest, I think, had a great, really well balanced in terms of like you don't have to finagle too much back and forth. You just kind of know what you're getting as you're upgrading certain things. You're like, yeah, I need these tires, etc.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's excellent so far. I mean, the odd thing about this, Huber, and as you know, just as I've mentioned before, like we've said, infinite goodwill from the first one. We know this is going to be good. We feel it's good.
It's got good bones.
It's got great, the best of bones. But my question is like, I'm curious. It's a curious thing. Like, why, first of all, when you're such a strong foundation you're coming from with the first Wreckfest, what is the strategy here with releasing this in early access, and especially like this? I'm kind of scratching my head just a little bit because
They
I'm like,
said,
yeah, go ahead.
They said, why early access? Quote, we need your support and feedback to make this the best Wreckfest experience it can be. Wreckfest 1 was also in early access and became a big success thanks to the feedback and dedication of our community, so we want to do this again.
Nice.
Yeah, and I appreciate that a lot. I'm a little confused on why they wouldn't just start off with a little more meat for their audience to chew on, because it's like right here, yeah, I got a billion suggestions, but I don't really know what you're doing yet because you haven't shown us like anything really new at all. And like, I think at least I don't know if I need to see something like at least some like drastically, I was thinking what could have like impressed me that would have been simple of like, maybe just like some drastically different terrain. Like we never saw like great elevation changes.
Was there snow in the last one?
Right, things like that. There was somewhat, but not like heavy weather, something like that. And maybe all that stuff is planned, but it's like if it is, why not wait like 6 more months even maybe before you get the early access rolling?
Yeah, I mean, it
Don,
may just be one of those things, where they want to get feedback and nail the fundamentals down before they start dealing with some of the bigger problems, or just like churning out a bunch of content that they'll have to redo or something like that. Yeah.
You know what game mode I could really go for, Don?
What's that?
Crazy Taxi. Delivery. You're delivering things.
Yes. That would be fun.
They had like a sandbox area or whatever. It just like have a little.
Yeah.
It's just so funny with the term easy access because it means such drastically different things for different developers,
true.
So
So true.
Whereas like some developers are like, hey, this is pretty much done, but like we're giving it to you early so we can, just kind of keep funding the process for the last third of the game or whatever. And like other games are like, this is 10%, but we need help to fix all the like, what do you want out of this? And it's like it's just different for everybody. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the last thing I'll kind of say about it is like, yeah, I guess that's the thing is like, in terms of people that are already on board, like I was 100% before this demo, before it's early access, I was like 110% yes, Wreckfest 2. I just salivated. I can't wait to purchase it. And then after this demo, I'm like, it's funny because early access. There's nothing here where I'm like, this or something. It's just more excellence, obviously, but it's so much the same that the only thing it puts into my mind is like, well, is this actually going to just be a little bit more of the same, which is a good thing, you know what I mean? But it's just weird because it's like, I don't think it's like increasing the excitement at all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's feeling like Wreckfest 1.5 kind of.
Really is. Yeah. So anyway, exciting, promising start, but man, I just can't wait. And then, I just can't wait for more. But it's the type of thing of like, well, okay, maybe I can just like relax and wait 6 months and then see what they've
Right.
Yeah, to check in.
Even the 2 tracks and the 2 cars, unless those tracks, are like
that's not enough.
geographically different in some big way. It might not even. I might just wait a little bit and then come back when there's a lot more on the plate.
The like second content patch in the summer or something for sure.
Yeah, but what they've got here, I mean, just this alone, it's very, very fun. There's just nothing like it. It is one of the funnest genres of games, and they're just nailing it, Bugbear. Yeah, so
it is
more.
It is also 20% off through April 3rd on Steam right now. I'm looking at it, $24 right now. $24. to buy in on Steam, and they said the price will go up when it fully comes out. So base
Oh yeah.
$30 now. It'll probably be like
Yeah,
$50
they give
or
people a
something.
little reward for coming in early and helping them.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you, Don. Wreckfest hype. We've got more to come. Oh, but if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a moment to like, subscribe, ring that bell, tell all your friends, tell your family, tell your neighborhood. Tell them all. Tell them all. Send them all this way. And because it really helps us and you stay connected with us. Also, if you want to sponsor this podcast and put your name right here in this beautiful space, all of this space, get in touch. You can email us at info@easyallies.com and we'll get you all the details. All right, Bloodworth.
Yo.
You were out for a while. You went to GDC.
Yeah, I was there for most of last week, thanks to a developer who will be named shortly.
Nice. Okay.
who was able to get me up there because I can't afford the travel right now for GDC.
Yeah.
So somebody was able to. They were doing a preview up there. That preview is embargoed.
Thank you, devs.
But they were able to get me up there and
Helping
all
Blood
that.
out.
So the way when I first when we got laid off from GT and Easy Allies started, that was kind of like my first eye opening of oh, this is what GDC actually is, rather than just being sent there to get footage of game after game after game.
Yeah.
And so when I do GDC now, I try to balance out my schedule as best as I can, where it's okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play some games. And I'm going to try to get some talks, and I'm going to try to get in some one-on-one meetings. And then I also just need space to kind of see what happens and see what's on the floor and stuff that you don't expect and crazy things and stuff like that. So I've got some photos that I'll queue up when I get
Travelogue.
to them. But yeah, first I'm going to start with a little bit of travelogue. And then I'll get into some of the talks and get a little bit into them, and then I'll rapid fire through a bunch of games because even though I didn't see it do a ton of demos, it still ends up being a lot of games.
Yeah.
And I think in an ideal world, I probably would have done this as a bonus episode, but we had the marathon on Tuesday as well, so there wasn't any time to really shoot something just standalone. So doing it here on the podcast.
Do it live.
But yeah, I came in. I got in Tuesday. And I flew out on Friday, so good 3.5 days-ish.
Nice. Nice chunk.
And it was one of those things, Huber, I picked up my badge, and as soon as I walk out of that media room, just start seeing people. Just literally around the corner. There's Bucky from Pal World, and
nice. Shout
go
out.
across the street, start walking around the park, and there's Carrie, Isla's friend that was a writer on Pacific Drive.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, and then get out of the park, start wandering my way around the street, and there's Ben Hansen with the camera. I'm on the travelogue. I've been at GDC for 15 minutes, and I'm in the travelogue already.
Yes, Mr. Hansen. Shout out.
Oh, and then my first big thing that I did was ID at Xbox thing that they had a little bit down the road. So it's kind of my farthest walk this year. Thankfully, I didn't have any crazy walks like I've had in some past years. And I'll get to those games in a little bit. But I also had to walk by the Ubisoft former office. I sent you that photo. I didn't include the sad photo for this.
Shuddered.
But yeah, the sign is gone, but you can see the outline of where the sign was. And so many events that I went to up there over the years, and just sad to see it gone. And I had a little NeoWiz, the Liza P guys. They had a little happy hour, so I went and stopped in on them.
Liza P.
I saw for the Xbox thing. I was actually surprised. I stayed there a lot longer than I thought I was because I saw the list and was I've played half of these recently. I'll be out, but I actually ended up being there for most of the time that was scheduled. And then there were a lot of other people there, Kate and Krista, and Ben Hansen was there again, and just Rebecca Valentine.
I want to ask you if you played a game, but I'm worried about embargoes or something.
No, we've already talked about anything that's embargoed.
Oh, okay.
You're okay.
Was the Lies of P DLC there?
No, they were. they were scheduling interviews. I wasn't able to make time for an interview, but I just did the mixer to like kind of catch up with some people there. The funny thing is like, I think I met like one NeoWiz person, and it was like the rest of the people I talked to were just the PR people.
Nice.
And then in the evening, Isla, you can put up the first photo. I went to this thing called the Indie Media Connect, and so they just like got some like office space somewhere and just like filled it with a bunch of indies and laptops.
Some harsh lighting in that room.
Yeah, and they also had some pizza, which was great because I hadn't eaten anything for most of the day.
Nice.
And
What toppings?
I think it was like spinach and pepperoni and something like that. Yeah,
Should we ask Damiani what his favorite kind of pizza is?
Do you want to?
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of pizza?
You asked us a question to your like.
Yeah,
And
what
I
is
was
it,
like, are you actually
Damiani?
asking, or are you just asking the
what's-
group if we should ask about this?
What are your favorite toppings, Damiani? Go.
Pepperoni black olives is my go-to, but I that's like my favorite combination.
Nice. But the funny thing about the Indie Media Connect was that they had pitched it as like get some times with the developers without any PR people around. Like I walked in that room, there were like PR people from like 5 different agencies, man. Like everywhere I turned around, there was another PR person I knew.
No leaks.
Yeah. So we're good with that photo, and I'll get to the games here in a second, and then that's where the high kicks for the travelogue, Ben Hansen's travelogue came in. They were there as well.
High kick showdown.
Met Haley for the first time. That was nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and Sarah was there too.
Awesome.
And Janet and Isaiah were also
So jolly.
around.
The whole crew.
Saw them quite a bit. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. And then the next morning I was up early, went to Wout's panel. I'll talk about that in a minute. Had some one-on-ones with people. And then, I went to Austin Winery. This is the second year he's done
Oh
this.
my goodness, blood.
Had a freaking concert,
How
dude.
pumped were you?
Hour-long concert.
You were so pumped.
Yeah. It was,
Did you get full body chills?
Actually, I wouldn't say that, but I did get emotional at one point.
Nice.
Some things that happened in his concert. He started with a what if section. And like just a whole bunch of these crazy things of like, what if Kirby was composed by Gustavo from The Last of Us?
Whoa.
And like playing the Kirby music with like the guitar
Dude,
and stuff. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
And then he did the inverse. What if The Last of Us was composed like a Kirby game?
That is so fun.
And then what if Koji Kondo scored Assassin's Creed?
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah. And then he did kind of like a medley of like different games from around the world. So like This War of Mine representing Poland.
Yeah.
And then Greece representing Spain, and A Plague Tale representing France, and Stellar Blade from Korea, and like all of this Wukong in there. He did a little self-service bit. He did a little bit of Eternal Strands and Monaco.
Sick.
Rob Kovacs was there with the piano playing
Love
the
that music.
Monaco theme.
Yeah.
Then he did a big shout-out section to Will Roger, who had a bunch of releases last year. So they had Pacific Drive was in there, and Helldivers 2 was in there, and Mortal Kombat 1 and 11, as well as Star Wars Outlaws. But then Will Roger is out here playing a flute dude for one of the games that inspired him. They did a Chrono Cross song.
Oh, shit.
And that's where I got emotional. That's where the chills came up.
Damn, blood.
Yeah. And then they did like a 2024 medley with a lot of Balatro and Avatar and Astrobot in there. The Astrobot was actually really freaking good.
Was James Cameron there?
No, he was not. And then
You just gotta be sure.
And then unfortunately, like I had to like bounce out before the whole concert ended because I had to get to another meeting. But the thing that I got to just walk out to was a little bit of Hades 2 with Austin Winery and Darren Korb. But
Don't talk about that game in front of me. I cannot handle it. Just don't.
So,
Do you think Austin Winery saw you walking out mid-concert and it broke his heart?
No, he was actually really grateful that I was there for any of it. Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah.
There's blood leaving. I've had enough.
Yeah. So, and then I had another one-on-one, and then another person actually had to cancel, and I ended up moving a one-on-one that was going to have the next day until that day. And Vince Pavey, Lamy Otoko, who is
Nice, yep.
one of our
Of course.
He's also he's an editor at MCV magazine, and so we got the infamous crepes. So there's like in South Hall, there's this like crepe stand. It's been there for every year for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But they cook them individually for each person. It takes forever. So
Ready to
there's
order.
just this giant line every time.
Oh my gosh.
And so I've never tried them before, and we looked and it's like, hey, the line's not that long today. So we got in line for the crepes. Still took forever.
Yeah.
And then we were in this
What
funny
kind, what kind did you get?
like chicken pesto.
Oh, so savory crepes. Do
They
you
had
like,
both. They had
Do you like
either
savory or sweet crepes more, Damiani?
Probably sweet.
Sweet, yeah. I'm all about the strawberry banana Nutella crepes. It's my go-to.
Yeah, I mean, I like both, but we were getting lunch, so
Yeah.
late lunch, so we were both hungry. So that was nice. Had lunch with him, and then I did some walking around the floor, and so I think I got some other photos to show you here.
Sick.
Oh yeah, so this is a weird one. So Obstacle Overdrive. So here's a photo of their booth. So the way this game is you're driving an RC car through obstacles made of toys, like you're hill climbing.
Dude, what?
But they actually had a physical course
Looks like a birthday party.
that they let people drive around. And then Isla, if you see, I had to put some blue sky links underneath here to show you some
hang on.
gameplay. Because I couldn't find any good video of the game. I tried to Google it and I got video of another game that was called Obstacle Overdrive.
Dude, this is my jam, blood.
Yeah,
I love
this is just
stuff.
a neat little
I love car games where you're Micro Machine style car games.
yeah. It's like
Dude.
it's like remember Spin Tires or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like doing Spin Tires with toy cars.
This looks this looks frustrating in the best way.
Yeah. So it's you're going across these crazy obstacle courses and you're trying
my
to stay on
God.
track and not fall off. And sometimes the physics is oh, wait, I gotta go
Wasted.
to the left, to the little.
Is that a GTA nod? Did you ask him? Wasted?
That was just the thing that they were doing on their Blue Sky. They had one before that was You Died. But I don't have a lot of clips to show you the game. But I think they had 2 courses there, and then they also had these little bonus objectives.
This looks very
to
fun.
pick up. Yeah, see, this is a staircase is a good example of what it's like to play because you want to be real careful. Yeah. And they have
looks
different
fun.
Yeah, it looks
different
super
cars
fun.
with different kind of wheels. So had some that had bigger, chunkier wheels with little spikes on them and stuff.
Yeah.
So a neat little game there.
Very cool. Obstacle Overdrive?
Yeah.
Great.
You can find it on Steam. You try to YouTube it, you get some other weird game that's not it at all.
Is it out?
I know. I don't think it's not out yet. No.
Keep going all.
And then this next one, put up this photo. I sent this actually to you, Huber. I don't know if you remember. This retro.
It says coming soon on that game.
Yeah, retro shooter.
Yeah. A lot of people were sending me this actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had these Time Crisis style light guns.
Yes.
Out there. Nice recoil action, Huber. That's you definitely
The
feel.
slide?
No,
Yeah,
we
that's what
gotta
it's
get-
Oh my god.
Sponsor deal, come on. Retro shooter, send us a couple.
Seriously,
we'll play.
hook us up,
We got it
retro
in pink,
shooter.
dude?
Dude.
Yeah, and then the rifle down there I think is one of theirs too. But you see the logo for Grand Shooter down there.
Yeah.
So that is the game that they were demoing. Here it is. And it's a
It's Virtual Cop.
very virtual. cop.
Holy shit.
So here's the thing about this game. This is very interesting. So this guy was I don't want to get the country wrong, but I think he's from Brazil. He was from Brazil. He had put this game out as a mobile game, and then he got sick of updating because mobile games to keep them on the store, you have to keep doing the little updates and stuff for the new operating systems.
Yeah.
So he started porting it to Steam.
This game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he found this guy in the U.S. that makes the light guns, and he's like, "I'll pay you whatever, send me one," And then they started collaborating and making this work. One of the funny pieces of feedback that he got when making this Steam version, because people wanted the nostalgia, is like, make the graphics worse. You need to make the graphics worse.
Very funny, very funny. It does have the Virtua Cop aesthetic beautifully. Will that Lycon work with other games? Is that Universal?
That was just one thing that they were showing off there. I don't know. I think people have like modded it to like work with some emulators and things like that.
So cool.
The way that it works is essentially like a Wii remote, except instead of a sensor bar with 2 points on it, there are 4 sensors that you put on the corners of your screen.
Got it.
So it felt really good and accurate.
Nice.
Like, I was having no trouble at all, just like pinpointing my shots, getting in there. Yeah. So
sign me up. Goodness gracious. Don, you in for that?
He is in for that. We're all very excited. Our Mogu Mogu is arriving. So.
Food is here. You can pull up the Video Game History Foundation stuff. So they had a booth right in the middle of the floor. So this huge glass case, Huber.
Hold on, I'm still all in on Grand Shooter.
I'm looking
there is
at
a
their
demo.
website
You
right
can check
now,
that out.
Huber. Grand Shooter. Chat said $230 for 2 guns.
Whoa.
Or you can get a handgun and the rifle for $315.
Oh my God.
So not nothing.
Jeez. Okay. Frick.
But it's probably a fair price for the. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it costs to make one of these.
if you could get some games that also utilize the light gun, also.
Oh, the 230 is for 2 guns with no sensors, power adapter, or extension hub. So you kind of have to get the 275.
So this is like a VR type investment.
You get a USA shipping discount though.
Wow.
Pedals.
It's coming soon to early access, so it's coming up.
Yeah. I think they do have a demo out for Grand Shooter, though.
There is a demo confirmed
Yeah.
on Steam right now. Damn, pricey, though. Hopes and dreams shattered.
Less
All
than
right.
a Switch 2. That's true, Chad.
It's the reinvention of the light game. The light gun on-rail shooter genre, as they call it.
Nice.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. So Video Game History Foundation had a really cool booth there.
Amazing.
So this glass case full of all kinds of like prototypes and like
So
old
cool.
advertising and stuff like that. You see,
Art the Lad there or something?
Mark the lad.
I'm not.
Looks like
no,
it.
I don't think that's what that is.
Oh, okay.
If you see the top left, you ever see those floppy disks?
Yeah.
That's like an unreleased NES game.
No way.
And if they had been missing any one of those discs, they wouldn't have been able to recover it.
No
it's
way.
great. Yeah. Hit the next one, Isla.
Dude.
So this is a close-up on some of the like the kind of like prototype cartridges and stuff. You can see the ROM chips kind of sticking out there.
Wow.
And they have a lot of
Damn.
they had a lot of
Damiani's
signage there
pleased.
to explain it all.
Yeah.
Damiani is so pleased right now.
Hit the next. This is a localized version of Final Fantasy II, which never released in
Dude!
the US.
What?
Dude, they better put some extra security on that case.
Yeah,
Like,
this is nuts.
holy
Yeah.
It's worth something.
dude.
Yeah, all this stuff is worth stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Hit up
That is
the
nuts. It belongs in a museum.
the next one there.
It's in a museum.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
this not a museum?
It is. No, it's great. It's perfect.
This display is interesting. So this is like a headhunting display. So they're like, are these games lost forever? So they have screenshots from magazines of games that were in development,
Sick.
but they don't have any prototypes. They don't have anything of evidence other than these screenshots that they know somebody was working on this game.
That's crazy.
So we need people that worked on them to like come forward
Yeah.
and be
Yes.
like, I worked on that, dude.
unsolved
Dude, that's
mysteries.
tight.
Yeah.
That's tight.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Hit the next one.
Unsolved Mysteries next season, Damiani. They have the lost
This is gonna be on
levels.
there. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna.
It's just a fun episode.
If you've seen one of these
Yeah.
games, call us.
Dude, California raisins?
I played the California Raisins game. They had it there. They had a version that you could
What?
play there. They had
The
like
great
several
mistake.
games that had never come out for the NES. And
Dude,
from
I was
Capcom.
weirdly obsessed with the California raisins as a little kid.
Yeah,
I
but-
had like the toys. I think because of Claymation Christmas, because
Yeah.
they were in that.
Yeah,
But
pop
yeah.
culture icon right there.
So sick.
Yeah.
It was definitely a difficult game, but it definitely reminded me of like Rescue Rangers and all of that kind of thing.
Rescue Rangers?
Yeah, remember the NES Rescue Rangers?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Rescue
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Loved Rescue Rangers.
Go ahead and see what's next there.
What we were joking about the California raisins.
Oh, just hit the next image.
We were talking about claymationing a behind the music about the. Never mind.
Oh yeah, so this was another game, Super Sushi Pinball
What?
that never released here.
Super.
I was looking over somebody's shoulder. I didn't get to play that one, but
Looks
yeah.
like NES pinball with a racing game in the
Yeah,
middle.
they had different
It's like
backgrounds. and stuff
Outrun
there.
and
Yeah.
cross paintball or something. It's like, what?
And then I'm trying to think. I might have an. Is there another? Hit the next. We'll see. We'll see what's there. Okay, so that's for a little bit later, but we'll get there. And then that night I went to the awards, and that was great. They do the IGFs and then the GDC awards, and that was nice. I got to go to like a little. I don't know if they've done this in the past or if it's a newer thing, or if I just missed it before. But yeah, there's like a little VIP mixer they had before, so I get to go in and
Grease some palms.
chat with some people that I wouldn't
Nice.
see otherwise.
Grease them.
I was walking in, and this guy in this amazing purple suit with a purple big hat comes up and introduces himself to me. Was a combat designer on the last 2 God of War games.
Whoa.
Big Easy A fan.
Good grief.
Yeah. And then
Dude, shout out to God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Just want to shout it out.
yeah. But then I actually ended up running into him at the party I went to after the awards. And then like we were able to catch up for like a good while. Like I talked to him like 30, 45 minutes, and now
So
like
fun.
I've been messaging him back and forth all this
Awesome.
week.
Little pen pals, Bloodworth.
Yeah,
Excellent.
no, he's a really great guy named Steve-O.
Steve-O,
his last name
shout
is
out.
really hard to say. So
Shout out, dude.
yeah, and then who else did I see there? Like just all kinds of people were there. You know, Square Enix was there, Sandlink was there, Billy Basso, who did Animal Well. Got to chat with him because I'd seen him at the DICE Awards, but there were like so many people like talking to him that I didn't actually talk to him at the DICE Awards, so it was nice to actually connect there. And then Dan Edelman, who's his PR guy.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was really great, really fun award. The funny thing about the awards show is that there were so many people that went on that stage that I know, like Alexa Ray Correa, who used to be with What's Good Games. She was hosting the GDCAs this year, and so then she brought out a lot of other people like Ben Starr and Liz Moberly, who Isla knows as well.
Who?
Liz
Be more specific.
Moberly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she gave out an award, and so did the God of War guy, which is about Steve-O. So he gave out the audio award. That's why it was just so awesome. Sick. Yeah, so that was good.
Very fun.
And then, yeah, like I said, I went to a mixer after that, and Zalavier was there, and Greg Rice was there, and a few other people I know. And that was actually the person putting on was the same person that I went to the punk rock show last night.
Nice.
Yeah, it was her birthday party.
Punk rocker blood.
And then I went to some panels the next morning. I did. Then I spent the rest of the day with the people that I did the preview that I can't talk about with them. But I had a little bit of a break in between where I was able to. There's somebody who had messaged me through the GDC app and was like, "Hey, I'm like graduating college and I want to meet up and all of that." And I'm like, "I don't know if I've got any advice, but sure." And then, believe it or not, I had advice, and it actually like
Nice.
helped him in a very tangible way.
There it is, blood. Pay it forward.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then met with someone else the next morning, and then did another demo the next morning and all that. I was gonna check out GDC Nights, which is a new thing they did this year, but the dinner and everything that I did with the people that flew me up there was just like it just took the rest of the night. I didn't get back to the convention before they closed it. So that's the overall picture. Some of the talks I went to Wout's talk on Balatro.
Shout out to Easy Allies Game of the Year.
Yes. And it swept the GDC Awards.
Yeah, it did.
By the way.
Goaty.
So that's always fun.
Goaty.
But yeah, some quick hits. So he was talking about marketing Balatro, and he actually tied it back to marketing Golden Idol because both games are games that like you show somebody a screenshot and it's like, what is this game? Right? So it's like, okay. But he was really talking about, for those kinds of games, needing to have that long tail push to like keep putting it in front of people and keep putting it in front of people and keep putting it in front of people. And like a lot of time, if you work with an external agency, you don't get that time because you basically have them booked for however many months or whatever, right? And that next month afterward might be the month that you need to actually break through.
Yeah.
One of the first quotes he started with, all you need to do to be popular is to be popular.
Of course.
Of course.
So simple.
There you go. But he was also sort of talking about, like, with a game like this, that like you just essentially need to get people to play it. It can be about finding the people who are going to influence the influencers in a way. And so he's talking about, like, once Jason Schreier started
Mind
talking
games.
about Balatro, then other people started getting it, and then they start, and then so like now all of
The hive
us
mind,
and the
the sheep.
media and the influencers are
Yep.
all talking about it, and then people are like, what is this game? Why is everyone talking?
There you go.
But he also, again, was talking about like the importance of like putting out those demos, but not giving people too much, and then it's like, okay, when it's time for the demo to go, take it away so they don't like feel like they've gotten their fill when you've got so much more game to show them. Because he was saying like there are people that put like dozens and dozens of hours just into the demos, right, for Balatro.
So extreme.
Right. They had done some big tournament with like 6 big streamers, and so that did a lot of good for them. And then talked about then like the stuff that came after launch, like the physical edition, and then like all the Friends of Jimbo stuff, and the mobile version that they had to basically get out there because there were so many copycats, and all of that. So. And then they got another big spike when it got nominated for the Game Awards.
Of course.
It's like everyone's like, why is a card game here?
Yeah. Nominations matter.
Yeah. And one of the big things that he talked about with the takeaway was the average demo playtime is like between like 5 and 20 minutes. So you need to put your hook front and center. Like, don't bog people down with a bunch of story exposition because something like Steam Next Fest, they're just going to go to the next demo.
Yeah.
They're not going to wait around. So,
Totally.
The next talk I went to was on Metaphor. And it was they were talking about the appeal and possibilities of a turn-based battle system, and that being like Atlas's bread and butter. It's like, no, we believe in turn-based.
Hell
we believe
yeah.
it's not outdated. We're going to keep finding ways to innovate and do different things with this. And so it was really interesting to see like the process that they took to like actually get it right and actually be good and like figure out like where are the pain points, what don't people like. And they were talking about like having that action layer, right, when you're just running around, and then you get into the turn-based combat and figuring out what the balance was for that, because they're like, the action is not there for the sake of action. The action is there to shorten the time that you're not just feeling like you're wasting a bunch of time in
breaks it up.
turn-based battles, right? And so like, they talked about like developing that whole system of like, when you're high enough level, the things go down and all of that. They had a concept early on where you could defeat any enemy in fast battle like that if you were good enough.
Wow.
But then they said that like then players didn't know why they should ever go into a turn-based battle at that point.
Totally.
And they were scared of playing it wrong or wasting MP and all of that kind of thing.
Interesting.
So they talked about really like reassessing like what their goal was and like, okay, why is this fun again? And similarly, they had another thing where they had made it sort of like random as to like, not random, but like if you, like when you attacked an enemy or an enemy attacked you, there would be like a 20 to 30% chance that like it would go the other way. So like you go and try to attack an enemy, but there's a chance that it won't actually turn out to your advantage. And they were saying it's like that wasn't playing well because it was like people didn't like, what are the rules here? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it made no sense.
So they said that was pretty important. And then And then actually one of the most interesting things wasn't really about the battle system at all. It was about playtesting. And they were talking about how they had like basically everyone in the company would playtest the game as they were like getting further along in different milestones and stuff. And they're saying that like for that it was hard because people would be like, well, I have other work to do, but I have to write a report. And then it's like feeling like they have homework to do. And because they feel like homework to do, it's like, I got to say something. And so they would write down just like whatever criticisms they could come up with. And a lot of the times that wasn't very helpful because it's like, okay, they would write down a lot of things that the developers were already aware of, or like, we're going to work on that later and all this. And then they're saying it's like even constructive criticism, like when you get too much of it, can be overwhelming. And so Isla, you can put up this photo now. So what they switched to is they switched to live streaming the play sessions. So this was really interesting because then nobody had to stress out about writing a report. Nobody had to stress out about reading a stack of reports and trying to figure out what was going to be useful and what to communicate to people. What could happen is that somebody could just be playing the game all day in a room, and then the people that in different departments, whether it's art or animation or combat or whatever, they just have the stream up as they're working. And then when that person gets to a part that's more relevant to them,
Smart.
they can look over and see what's going on.
It's very smart.
And then it's like they feel like they're more proactively solving the problem rather than somebody telling them just a bunch of information that's not useful to them.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it was that it allowed them to see things that the person playing would have never said anything about, or they would have not picked up on. So like they would have just toughed it through this part, and it's like, it bothers me, but it's not worth saying.
Yeah.
But they saw that, oh, you got lost here in this part of the map, so we got to do something here. Oh, that boss was way easier than we thought it was going to be. Are you going to complain about the boss being too easy? Probably not. If
I
you
would.
still felt like you were stressed out about it, right? Like,
True, yeah, true.
you know, because that was one of the things that they talked about too, was that like, why is Atlas combat so punishing? And one of the reasons they were saying is because they want you to make it feel like doing those daily tasks and doing the bonds and the activities and stuff actually is worth it, and it's a payoff.
Thank you.
So you do those things and you get those advantages, and then when you go out in battle, then there's that. So some really cool stuff.
Push back. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Got to push back.
Yeah. And then the last talk that I got to go to, because I only got to go to 3 talks, was Liz Moverly and Kate Dollarhide, who have both worked on some of Obsidian games,
Francis Dollarhide?
Avowed. There's no photo for this one, so you don't have to worry about that. That was the last photo. And so they were talking about making RPG companions. And it was really interesting because they
love RPG companions.
They had broken these things down into like different categories. So like different kinds of games have different needs for companions. And so it was almost like a library reference of like each one of these types. So the first type is what they call partner-based design. So think BioShock Infinite. So it's fairly linear, or Last of Us is another example they gave. This character is a character. They are set. They have a story. They're there to assist the player, but like you're also there to experience what their story is, right? Their recruitment is unskippable. Like they're a core part of what this game, and like kind of like your role is to be like a protector or a teacher or to like question their or have them question your motivations, kind of thing. The second type that they went through was party based. So this is kind of like a Baldur's Gate kind of thing, where it's like non-linear, like your agency is king. They can be recruited or ignored or killed.
Intense.
They're optional in combat, and then their companion quests are optional as well. And then the third is what they call like the hybrid type. So they're talking about Kim in Disco Elysium or Cyberpunk Judy. So the character themselves is unavoidable, but then They have optional side
Yeah, I
content.
love
Like
that.
whether you recruit them or not is kind of up to you. They have their own agency. They have their own place that they live in the world.
Jones is pumped.
Yeah, and then they just like went through like all kinds of like different factors of like in how they apply to each of these 3 different archetypes.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I thought was like very interesting was the importance of if you're going to have companion characters, everybody on the team has to be on board and has to know what's going on from the earliest stages, because you need audio to be thinking about what is it like when this person is walking around with you? Are they going to have dialogue?
Crazy.
Are they, what are their sound effects going to be? It's Rhine time, Damiani. You've got to think about AI pathing and like where are they going to go? Like if you're in a shootout, are they going to hide behind cover? Are they going to run in front of you?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You got to think about whether they're going to have quests and all the dialogue and the stuff that's going to go in there. You got to think about the combat. You got to think about the art. You got to think about all of the production deadlines and all
Love
that
it.
stuff.
A lot of people don't
yeah.
think about how complicated making a game is.
Yep. And now I got to talk about a bunch of games. But these I think will go a little bit quicker. First up, I think. All right, I was there. Okay, see the mouse moving. At the ID at Xbox thing, first game I played, Detective Dotson.
We got Dotson here.
Dotson. We got Dotson here.
This is a cute little game. What's funny is they gave me this sheet with like the names of the people that were there and stuff, and like how big your team is and where they are and stuff. And like, yeah, so these guys are in India with a 10-person team. And I would say this game
It's sick.
This looks jolly as hell.
Yeah, it's really cute.
This guy looks really kind.
So it's sort of like a mix between like a classic point and click adventure and like a Case of the Golden Idol kind of thing.
Great.
So it's like you're walking around, you're talking to people, you're trying to get information, and then you collect your clues and you put them on a case board and you're trying to figure out like where they fit in the gaps
Sick.
on the case board. They're also making a 60-minute animated film.
Whoa.
Yeah. And this guy, Detective Dawson, he's a detective, but he wants to be a Bollywood star. And so
cute.
yeah, one
Oh
of
my gosh.
the cases I was doing was like on like a movie set, and you're trying to solve just like some, I forget what it was. Like it was some silly little thing like who stole the donuts or something like that. Yeah.
He looks like the nicest man.
So cool.
One of the things that was interesting though is that like some of the people to be able to talk with them, they had like a little icon of like an item or something. So it's like if you bring them something that they like, then they'll talk to you and they'll give you a clue. And figuring out like how to do that sometimes it's like takes several steps. It's like okay, like there's one of these things for sale, but this person wants an item first, and you've got to kind of like barter and negotiate. Like yeah, and that was one of the things like whether you're buying or selling, you had to like kind of like negotiate the price. Yeah. Next up, Promise Mascot Agency, which is coming up pretty quick. Oh yeah, Detective Dotson it's
don't
out
remember
either
this
April
one.
3rd or the 24th. For some reason, I have 2 dates down. But Promise Mascot Agency is this wild game.
I remember this.
Yeah, from Khazan Gameworks. That is, it has a lot of well-known voice actors in it, including the voice actor for Kazuma Kiryu.
Yes.
And you are a disgraced Yakuza, or exiled Yakuza his death has been faked, and you're like exiled to this island full of mascots. But like mascots in this world are like actual creatures, and
It looks like Deadly Premonition core.
right.
Yeah, dude, I'm into this.
Yeah, and for some reason in the trailers I never picked up on it, but the main mascot that ran the agency before you got there is named Pinky, and it's a severed
It's a
finger.
severed finger with tiny arms
So
Yeah.
funny. Oh my god.
and legs.
And you see how like the nail looks different in a lot of shots. That's one of the collectibles is you find different designs for Pinky's nail.
Love that.
What?
And so the mascot agency, like, before you get there, like, it's gone out of business essentially, and it's it's been temporarily turned into a love hotel, and one of your first missions is to go to the mayor's office and bribe the mayor so that you can get the business license back.
Bribe the mayor. Great objective.
And a lot of the town is kind of run down too. So it's like as you're bringing the mascot agency back up, you're also kind of like investing in the town. And so like you have to go and find these weirdo misfit mascots. Like one of the first ones I found was named Tofu, who is this like big
Resident
piece
Evil.
of tofu who is incapable of stopping crying. And then you have to book him to like go in front of a bookstore and like be there for a bookstore opening, and he's just like constantly but when you find them and you hire them, you actually have to like negotiate a deal. So like there's all of these things in the contract of like how much of a percentage are they going to get? Are they going to get time off? Are they going to get vacation days? Like what are their perks going to be? So you have to like recruit these guys and then send them out on jobs. And then while you're roaming around the open world in your beat up truck, then you might get a call where like they're in trouble, and them being in trouble is like a turn-based battle.
Awesome.
So you do a turn-based battle with a doorway because they're stuck in a door frame, and you have to defeat the door frame.
Very funny. Hey, Isla, this is from the creators of Paradise Killer, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. I knew it was like it was calling out to me. I'm like, there's some ineffable quality about this that yeah, there's something lurking beneath the surface.
There you go.
There's something sinister, but in a good way. Yeah.
And yeah, so then but in order to do the damage and assist, like you also find these other characters who are like hero characters that then assist you in the form of cards. So you have your deck of heroes that you can use to help out the different mascots.
There's also a demo out for this.
Yeah, they do have a demo, and it's out pretty soon. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. I met Captain Sign, who is
Nice.
a road safety hero who's just got like a bunch of road signs plastered all over his body. And there is a mechanic that can give upgrades for your truck if you find some collectibles for him. So your truck can then get wings, or can be like used as a boat, or can you can launch Pinky like a rocket. Is one of the upgrades.
Fun.
So yeah,
Super fun.
super fun, super well. Oh yeah, there's the negotiating there. So yeah, so you click different things until they get interested enough that you can recruit them.
It's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll talk about that more in a couple of weeks, since that will be out very soon.
Yeah, April 10th.
Yeah.
Imminent.
Yes. The next one I played is Hurdling,
Hurdling.
which you might have seen in like the Annapurna showcase or something like that.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah. So this one's kind of trying to think like what a good analogy would be, like maybe something like Flower or something. But you start off in the city and you come across like these crazy things called calicorns.
Whoa.
You find this lost calicorn with a bucket on its face, and then you start guiding it out of the city, and you start finding other calicorns and growing your herd and stuff like that. And so sometimes there will be like little like shipping containers and stuff that you have to like push out of the way to open a path, and then you can like kind of like create a stampede that can kind of like smash over some objects. But the demo is pretty brief because it is about going on that overall journey, so they don't want to show too much, just the beginning. And the main thing is just like trying to like orient yourself to the controls, because it's a herding mechanic, you're kind of going like sort of the opposite direction of where you want them to go, and so you're kind of like rolling around behind them and then and kind of directing what way they're going to go. Not Annapurna, Panic, I guess that's doing it.
Panic.
Yeah. But yeah, cool little game there. I played Hella,
Hella cool,
which
bro.
is from the Unravel guys.
Huh.
And it has some of the similar aesthetics where you're like in this kind of like photorealistic kind of aesthetic in this world, and you play as this little mouse with this like magical frog backpack. And so you can glide around, and then the frog's like fabric tongue you can use as like a grappling hook to swing and stuff, and the swinging feels really good.
Looks cool.
And there is like, yeah, you could see in the trailer there's like this 4-player co-op mechanics. And the sort of the idea is that you are like this assistant to like this witch, brewing different potions and stuff to help people. And so you go out and scavenge the world to find the ingredients for the potions.
That's fun.
But a lot of it is just like looking and climbing and finding what you can get. And yeah, and then you make these animal buddies, Huber.
So cool.
So you go up to these shrines and you initiate an animal buddy thing. And so like with the rabbit, like you kind of have to do this thing where you're like leashed onto the back of it. And then you're like going through rings, and once you complete like the full race and get through all the rings, then you can summon the rabbit whenever you like, and like
summon the rabbit.
Get pulled along like it's a dog sled or something.
Nice.
And then I also befriend like a magpie, so then like you could fly around and just like hang from the magpie.
That's fun.
So pretty neat.
Yeah.
This one's a little further off. They don't have a release date or anything yet. This is pre-alpha.
Looks like Jones would be into it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was into Unravel for sure.
Yeah.
And then I played Hotel Barcelona.
Nice.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, from Swery. Swery was there.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Swery was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Grasshopper, Suda51 is kind of assisted on this, but it's more of Swery's more in the lead.
Sick.
This game is crazy weird.
As we expect.
And as you expect, it's kind of rough around the edges too. It's like, all right, like I'm trying to like get the rhythm down. It's basically like a side-scrolling roguelike.
Sick, dude.
And it's all based on like just like different horror genres, right? Yeah. So there's the slasher sluggers to like the first boss that you come up with.
Mm-hmm.
But like the hotel, it's like it's all part of it. So like your
plays best on drugs, or
your hotel room is kind of like your base of operations, and then when you go out into runs, like you're going like through the different environments based on like the movie that you're in, right?
Nice.
But when you're going through a level, like it's sort of like procedurally generated or something. So like when you come across, you decide like which hotel doors to go to different parts of the level, and it's kind of like that determines like what perks you're going to get. So you go up to a door and it's like, okay, if I go through this door, it's going to refill some of my health. If I go through this door, it's going to up my attack speed.
Totally.
But then you see this thing with the do you see the ghosts? This is the crazy weird thing. So when you're on a run before you go back to your hotel room, it is basically recording you like a ghost in Mario Kart. And so then when you go down, you'll be up alongside of the ghost of your previous run through the level. And then you end up getting multiple ghosts. But then if you go through a different door than you did last year, then you lose your phantoms. So some weird stuff going on there. Another weird thing was that like when you like start a life, there are like all of these other like little parameters, so like the weather and the time of day and your size. So you can be like really tiny or like a giant, and then the next run your like giant phantom is running alongside you. So
sick.
It's weird.
Evil serial killers from all over the U.S. have gathered up in a luxurious hotel that sits just outside of Pittsburgh on the border of Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
In addition to coins, some of your currency are just like teeth, just picking up teeth off of enemies.
The more you're covered in
bones.
blood, the more damage you do. That's what they say.
No, I didn't get to see that.
As you cut your way through enemies and bathe in their blood, your abilities will get stronger, but the blood will dry up, so you need to keep attacking.
Okay.
Sick.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of different weapons to mess around with and stuff too.
Looks very fun, dude. And I'm in 7 different locations.
But just
each have a different boss.
The battle rhythm is tricky.
Oh,
Like so it's like it's easy to like, all right, I'm attacking this guy, but it feels a little slowish. And then I got hit and like, oh crap.
Coming soon, TM.
Yeah. And then there's a skill tree with some permanent buffs and stuff to unlock.
Excellent.
So for sure.
Roguelite hype.
Next up, Oh yeah, just play this. I didn't have any notes for these. This is the stuff I played at the Indie Media Connect. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
Damiani, they're comparing this to Link's Awakening, so I thought you
Oh.
might want to perk up on this one. But yeah, you're a mouse with a yo-yo, and there's a lot of cool little things it can do. And you see how like the walls are kind of angled, so
Dude, the yo-yo looks sick.
yeah, so you can kind of ricochet off of the walls, and similarly the enemies will ricochet bullets and things like that.
Slime Tycoon.
To be honest, I'm not seeing Link's Awakening in this, but
Yeah, me
okay,
either.
this part.
Yeah, I think
maybe,
when you're in the
but
dungeons a little bit more,
yeah,
it's a little bit more
okay.
obvious. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, feels good. Some nice art style going on there. But yeah, the city stuff is definitely different for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, like using it as a grappling
Some
hook there,
ninja.
like a hook shot. So
Sure.
nice stuff. And then the other main one that I played there was called Sea Frog. Yeah, this map screen has got like some Mega Man Legends vibes to it.
Yeah, wow.
But this is basically just like
Gives me
just how you
Dreamcast
get from like
vibes.
one level to another.
Sick.
So it was like, you know, I tried one and then I went on to another one, but you see like you're surfing on like a wrench.
Dude.
And so like going through these levels, just kind of like surfing on the walls and ceiling and stuff like that. I think this one's got a demo available too. But cool, fun little thing.
I
can
like
also-
that it went seamlessly from that 3D map screen right into the level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a nice little one. If you like your platformer and you're sliding around like rail grinding and all that.
Yeah.
Next is One Move Away, which is one of Wout's games over at PlayStack.
Oh.
It's very similar to Unpacking in my head, but it is different because it's more about like the puzzle mechanics. So this is like one of the first levels where like you've got to get all of your stuff into the trunk.
Fun.
And so it's like trying to like turn everything and shift things and you can even like poke things
Oh my gosh.
to like see how I can stack it all in this trunk.
Oh my gosh.
And then sometimes like things like that are like weird shapes, like these file folders, like if you put them in the wrong time, they'll just like flop over and kind of get in your way. But they say that like every level, like
This looks fun.
you can fit everything in the trunk.
What about the back seat? Can you use the back seat
You
too?
can't use the back seat in this level, but he did say they're not all trunks. There's like different types of things that you use as the game goes on.
That's immersion breaking, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I use the back seat as well.
And then there's like three. So they're like Unpacking. There is like a storyline that plays out.
Yeah.
But there's like three different characters, and so different things that you have to load up as it goes on.
Yeah.
Definitely tricky. Like I thought, I was like, oh, I've got this, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know what to do with
deceptively-
this guitar or whatever. Like it's like just not the right shape.
Yeah.
Dreams of Another. This is super cool.
Pixel Junk.
Yeah, so this is from
This one looks great. I remember.
Bion, who did Pixel Junk Eden.
Yeah, we saw this somewhere.
Yeah, we
I-
saw this.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
in one of the showcases late last year, something like that. But so basically, when you start off, it just looks like you have like this amorphous cloud. And
Amorphous.
and you are this guy in pajamas with like an assault rifle, and when you start shooting into the cloud, it starts forming objects, and it's how you discover your world is by like shooting into the cloud and seeing what's there.
So bizarre.
Yeah, but one of the crazy things was like I was walking up to check it out. Bion and Dylan Cuthbert were both there, but also the one of the graphics engine programmers is a big Easy Allies fan. He's only been there since like November or whatever. So we talked for a while
Shout
about
out.
how this game works because there are no 3D objects in this game. It's all like the little 2D particles,
That's crazy.
basically, that assemble like according to
create
like a
something,
3D
yeah.
frame, but there's not an actual 3D object being rendered.
Wild.
So there's like, at times there's like 10 million freaking particles like going on.
Jeez.
But one of the things about this game that is just kind of, it has that sort of surreal, like what I would sort of like compare to like a Keita Takahashi game, like to a T. Well, to a T is actually a little bit more straightforward, but like Katamari or like Nobi Nobi Boy or what's the other, Watam. Where it's like, you know, I'm trying to discover what the heck is here, and like, and you kind of like create like this like village square or whatever, and then like you find a bench, and the bench starts talking to you, and it's like, humans sit on me, and they leave crumbs, and then the ants come and clean up all the crumbs and like stuff like that, and like I found like this manhole, and there was like these tracks leading away from the manhole, and then you find this mole that leads to like a mole that had come out of it. And he's got this cute but kind of bizarre dialogue, and it's like, tell my family that I love them, and then he dies, and it's like, jeez. And then you look at the body, and it's like, there's a little drool coming out of his mouth.
It's crazy.
These little details like this, and then the manhole starts going around the level. And everything that the manhole goes through like busts up into particles again, including you. So like I'm just like, until I start shooting the gun again, like I'm just like a pair of shoulders going through the level. And then once you shoot the manhole enough times, then it goes back to the manhole cover goes back to the manhole, and it's like, okay, I'll let you in, but you can't complain about the stench. That's on you. It's like, okay. Another one of the Day of the Devs games here is, what is this game called? This is a crazy freaking... My arms are longer now.
This looks delightful.
This is like Untitled Goose Game in a way. So you just play as this infinitely long, stretchy arm. And the first level is this you're on this train, and you're just stealing stuff off of the train.
What the
hell? So it's like... You just like, all right, you take this poor guy's bike, and then you can take like the hammer from the fire extinguisher, and you can start smashing the windows, and you can like go like reach your arm around outside the window and like try to steal this woman's briefcase.
It's so fun.
But you have to find the key, and then eventually like some security guy comes in and starts looking
for tickets. Is there voice
tickets.
acting or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was another level after this where like I had to like trip up there was like these people walking like doing some sports or something, and you like had to trip them, and like it's wild.
It looks very fun, dude.
Had to disturb a bird. So that's what I mean, like Untitled Goose Game, where it's like you have these goals and you have to like figure out how to cross them off the list.
And like the waiting game that you just played.
While waiting. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much like that. All right. And then the last one. Oh, crap. I didn't even talk about all Control GDC. We'll do that after this. Fresh Tracks. Sayonara Wild Hearts-esque.
Nice.
Is what they're going for, Huber.
Top 100 game of all time.
And the other thing that reminds me of is Beat Saber. You can start playing. So basically, it's a rhythm game where you're on cross-country skis, but you also have a sword. And so it can get... The one thing is, if I have, like... I need time because it's complex, because it's like you've got a lot of different actions that you can do where it's like, okay, you're changing tracks with the D-pad, but you can also, like, jump and duck, and then you got to swing your sword with the right stick.
Somebody's going to beat this game with like a paper plate or some shit.
And then, but you can also, there's parts where you have to lean. See there, where it's like you have to lean around things to get the objects. But musically, it's pretty cool. They have different. There's like 4 different parts of the map, and each part is like a different musical style. So the first part is they refer to it more as like pop, but it sounded like some of the like early music in Tetris Effect or like a Dido or Imogen Heap kind of vibe. And then one of them is like all like heavy metal stuff. Another one is like all musical theater. And then I think like the last zone when you're like trying to take down the Queen of Terror.
Queen of Terror
is like all rap battles.
Sick.
So a lot of different ideas and stuff in there. So I really dug what I got to play.
Yeah, I
this
like the
one I
visuals.
just was like in a hotel lobby on a laptop.
Looks like a one more game. One more.
Yeah.
One more try.
Well, yeah, that was one of the hard things too, because like the other musical genres are like further in the game, and so it's like she wanted to show them to me, but it's like it's such
Really
an escalation.
difficult,
It's
yeah.
like, no, I am not ready. I get like a couple of beats in, and like, nope, I'm dead now. And then let's quickly fire through some of those alt control GDC photos that somehow I skipped over before. Yeah, so Clench the Stench. We're playing, like, you play on these
good title.
office chairs. So you had to, like, twist the chair, like, back and forth repeatedly to, like, keep your speed up. And then you had to, like, lean on your butt to, like change direction or something like that. Oh, and then you built up boost, and you had, like, stand up to boost. So it's pretty challenging. And then you had buttons on the arms of the chair for your items and stuff. I thought I had blown it, Huber, because at one point I started going the wrong way and I had to turn around. But I managed to like get it right at the finish line.
Nice.
So that was nice.
Blood on the tracks.
Next one, and a lot of these I didn't play, so it's be a little bit quicker. But this one is called Cooked Intel, and you're looking into like a rice cooker to play this game.
Cool.
Because that's what alt control GDC is
Yeah,
about. Like
yeah,
just people
just
coming up with like
weird
wacky ways
shit.
to like play different games.
It's very fun.
Next up, yes, this is the other one I played. Paco's Anatomy.
This one looks scary.
This is great. So you look into his mouth, and there are like all of these different readouts for Paco's health. And so what you have to do is you have to keep Paco alive for 2 minutes.
Whoa.
And so you reach.
Can Paco jump scare you?
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
But it's still like a little bit of that fear. It's like when you have like Halloween and your teacher brings all that stuff in, and like you reach your hands in.
Yeah.
So like you reach your arm into Paco's body
Oh my god.
and to interact with his organs, and you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So like to keep his heart rate up, you have it's like a bike horn kind of thing, like this. You had to like push with enough pressure to like, and then do it to the beat. But then for his
It's like
lungs,
Matrix 3.
you reach in, and there are like these dangling, like squishy, like I don't even know how to describe it, like these udders dangling down, and you had to like pull on the correct udder, and then for the brain, there was like an array of like switches that you could see, like the readout was like whether they were on or off. And you had to feel around, and there were like actual like physical metal switches, and you had to find the switch and flip it, but you had to find the right switches. So it was like, okay, there's a couple that were really easy, but then like I'm like, okay, there's like reaching all around in like every direction to find all the different switches. So
Fun.
and then it's like they would just keep like moving from one thing to another, and like you had to keep them alive for 2 minutes. Next up. So yeah, it's kind of hard to see here, but it's called Back Off Me Booty, and then it's like on a seesaw, and it's a pirate ship game. So like you had to like alternate. There's like a screen for each player, and so you had to like get up and then shoot it like a kraken off of the deck.
Kraken.
And people were like getting a workout because you had to like go back and forth quickly
Wow.
enough to take him down. Next up. This is the cat butt game. I don't know if you saw, a lot of videos came out from the cat butt game. They made a giant squishy foam cat butt, and you got to pet the butt, rub the butt a lot. Yeah, so it was the star of the show.
Smart move to pander to cats and dogs for sure.
Next, I didn't really get to check this one out too much, but there's like a couple of things going on. One of them you were playing with an umbrella. Next up. This is interesting, is Dance of the Sky Carver. So you had like this like plastic sword on like a base, and like twisting the sword, like alter the direction of the sword in the game on the racetrack. But then like people were also like lifting it up to jump and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And then what's next? And this is the last one. The shower must go on. So it's like they had a full shower that you had to get into and interact with, and like all the people working the booth were in shower caps and stuff like that. So, but I knew I couldn't play this because I'm too tall as I am with most showers.
It's funny.
There we go. Sorry for the marathon. It would have been a separate video. Otherwise,
GDC.
Keep that in mind for next year. Gotta make this a bonus episode.
GDC still cooking. Just so fun to see a bunch of different types of games and unorthodox games and discussions, deep dive discussions about game development. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
All right, Blood. Well,
also this week
you're up again, brother.
Let's just do the good one. We'll jump through the rest of that. Just Game Informer is back.
Dude, Game Informer is back.
They all got rehired.
Let's go.
A lot of them got promotions.
GTA 6 cover when?
Right?
When?
Yeah. And fully editorially independent. The Gunzilla Games that bought them is like, we don't want to tell you what to do. We just want you to do your thing.
Dude, they also reviewed like 40 games when they were on hiatus or some shit.
Insane.
Yeah, and they did their awards. They put up,
Yeah. They did their awards too.
Insanity.
Yep.
Insane.
Yep.
New physical issues are still on the way, but the website has been restored. Plus, they posted dozens of reviews and 24 awards. Yeah, sweet.
Yep.
Sick. And you want to just skip these?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and skip it. Let's we're way over time.
Okay. That means it is time for Game Informer to cover GTA 6 and Love and Respect. Love and Respect.
Respect.
This is from Dan Childers. Hey, allies. I miss arcades. Yeah, me too. If you could own one arcade machine and space and money wasn't an issue, which arcade game
Discs of Tron.
would you own?
Ooh,
Nyla says
nice.
Discs of Tron.
Star Wars Trilogy arcade
Dude,
game.
oh my god, the fucking
Nice.
lightsaber battles in that, dude.
And the Addams Family pinball.
F-Zero AX.
Oh,
With the
the memory card slot?
with the memory. I think they all had the memory card slot,
So
but I think
sick.
some of them had the wheel and some of them didn't, or something or I forget. Well, there's a sit-down version of that, right, Damiani? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
That was the one I played at golf and stuff out in Ventura when they still had it like 10 plus years ago.
Yeah, one with a moving car. That's it. If it doesn't exist, I would like it to exist.
This is so hard. I mean, I'll say the best of all time. I'll say Time Crisis 2.
I figured.
A lot of the other ones, like X-Men and stuff, you can, like, play on console, you
Right.
know? Like, Time Crisis 2 is just such an arcade experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what I was thinking,
Yeah.
too. Because, like, before I remembered F-Zero AX, I was thinking about, like, I forget even what the name of it was, but there's an old Sega one where it's like it goes like full 360.
Afterburner, bro.
No, it's not Afterburner. It's like a space
Oh.
one where,
Huh.
But I remember it sometimes, and other times I lose it because it was like one of those games where like I only knew it from being a kid in a bowling alley.
Nice.
And-
Afterburner?
Yeah.
Dude, Afterburner is in like two of my favorite things of all time. First of all, it's in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Shout out. John Connor is just playing Afterburner. And it's in Shenmue 2 in like an abandoned building on some weird floor, and you just play Afterburner right there within Shenmue 2. So sick.
It might have been Galaxy Force.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right. What's Don's pick? I would love a quick Don arcade pick.
He's coming.
Don's
What
got an
happened?
arcade machine.
One of the headphones caught me. Yeah, for space is the main issue. I have a few games at home, so I'm blessed for sure to
Yeah.
have a little arcade at my house. But the thing I don't have room for, or maintenance budget, is pinball. So I would want pinball. I'd want, obviously everyone knows I love The Bride, but I would actually pick a couple more before The Bride. I would take Lord of the Rings, Huber. Lord of the Rings is
Sick.
probably my favorite pinball machine. I'd
Dude.
take Pirates of the Caribbean. That is a sick pinball
Dude.
machine with like a wrecked pirate ship and everything. And yeah, then maybe I'd take, but obviously Bride of Pinball if I get that.
So
in there too.
sick.
So yeah. Stern, send me a pinball machine. House.
There's I think I've told you there's one pinball machine that's close to my house at a bar. They have Jaws. Really good machine.
The new one. And the other thing I forgot to mention, T2, the pinball
Oh
machine.
my
That would have to be
God,
up there,
yes.
Huber. That one's so sick. I
When
used
you
to
put
play
the quarter in, what doesn't it say like "Hasta la vista" or something?
yeah,
Like it says something.
It has a bunch of sound bites, and to launch the ball, it has like the pistol, like.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah.
So sick. Quick shout out to Lucky and Wild too. I know Don loves that one. Haven't seen that in the wild in 15 years.
He exclaimed with joy. Can you shut the window? It smells like burning rubber or something.
Oof.
All right, this next one's from Cheese.
Jeez.
Hey, Alice. The Switch 2 is around the corner.
Yes, it is.
And a lot has been speculated about the mouse functionality on the new Joy-Cons. But what I think is being overlooked is that it's going to come with 2 mice.
True.
Do you think Nintendo has dual mouse gameplay up its sleeve? I know it's a small gimmick, but I'm hoping there are some left field ideas for it. Maybe they bring back Tele-Roboxer, where each mouse controls a robot arm.
Is Tele-Roboxer the Virtual Boy game?
Oh no. What do you say, Damiani? Last chance to speculate before Tuesday. This is it. All will be revealed.
I feel it's just like they give you 2, so it could be 2-player, like 2 people using like a mouse cursor, but like
Also lefties.
yeah, but also like keep in mind that like I feel anything that's like involves motion, like and pointer stuff already exists. So like I don't think like boxing like or punching or like any like that's already there. It has to be something that's like mouse keyboard. It's emulating mouse keyboard unless Nintendo has something completely unique that we're just not expecting. So I just think they're giving you 2 to either, as Blood said, combine lefties and righties, but also there might be like a option for 2-player of that functionality somehow. Yeah.
1-2 switch kind of thing.
Blood, you were correct. This game was on Virtual Boy, 1995 boxing video game, Tele-Roboxer, and it was directed by Yoshio Sakamoto, who has directed several Metroid games.
Yep.
Badass.
Sakamoto.
Fucking sick. Oh, Tuesday, Damiani, we're close.
Isn't it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. I keep thinking it's Tuesday. It's
Wednesday.
It's
Wednesday.
because Huber's just going to stay up all night.
Yeah, dude.
Probably.
Rather than
do.
wake up at 5 in the
No.
morning or 4 in the morning.
I'll get a couple hours sleep.
Okay.
Let's play a game. Woo! It's from Stone Cold Miracle.
I skimmed past this, so I don't see it.
Hey allies, what's crack-a-lackin'? This is my first love and respect, and I've brought with me a guessing game that's probably been played before.
What up?
Split Fiction sales record had me thinking about other games that blaze through units sold in short amounts of time. And so you people need to figure out between 3 games which ejected most prematurely. Some of these are a bit easy to guess, and there's a lot, so don't feel like you have to go through all of them. The winner gets a secret prize that I will reveal telepathically.
Okay.
So
Whoever wins, let us know what it was.
figure out between 3 games which ejected most prematurely. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
I'm guessing that when you see the answers, they will make sense. I'm guessing it's the fastest seller, though.
Okay. All right, the first one is Tears of the Kingdom, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Mario Kart Wii. I think it is fastest selling.
I'm going to go Animal Crossing.
We're trying to guess which one sold the most the fastest?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, most units in short amount of time.
Oh, probably Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, probably Mario Kart.
It was obviously
What
the
says Tears
sequel
of the
to one of the
Kingdom?
greatest games ever made, Tears of the Kingdom.
Don got that right.
Game Freak is next. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Sword and Shield, or Pokemon X and Y?
Ooh.
Sword Shield.
Scarlet Violet?
XY?
Scarlet Violet.
Nice.
Every game
out.
outsells the newest, or what, you know what I mean.
Keep track of your own points. I got 1 point.
Sony, Helldivers 2, God of War Ragnarok, or Bloodborne.
Damn, I hope it's Bloodborne. But it's probably Raggy Rock.
It's never
Helldivers?
Bloodborne.
Helldivers.
It's never Bloodborne.
It is absolutely Helldivers, dude.
Wow.
Shattered records.
2.
Starship Troopers tonight, dude. Next up, Microsoft. Halo 3, Forza Horizon 4, or Call of Duty Black Ops 6?
Gotta be Black Ops, right?
Forza.
Halo 3?
Gotta be Halo 3, dude. Yes. Next up, Sega. Sonic 2, Sonic Frontiers, or Yakuza Infinite Wealth?
Infinite Well. Wait, Sonic
Sonic
2?
Frontiers.
This one shocks me, dude. It's actually Sonic 2.
OG Sonic 2? Hell
Crazy.
yeah.
That was a big seller.
That was a big
Sonic 2
moment.
was big, dude.
10 out of 10, like the best game I had as a
But
kid.
the market
That
wasn't
and
that
Mario.
big. That's what got me.
That game is really
Yeah.
Yeah. That is crazy. Capcom, Monster Hunter Wilds, Resident Evil 4 Remake, or Devil May Cry 5?
Oh. Well,
Resident Evil.
Wilds.
Resident Evil 4 remake.
Wilds, baby.
Really?
Took out Resident
Oh,
Evil
Wilds.
4.
I didn't hear you say Wilds.
Took it out.
Wow.
We were laughing because Dodd just went, Sonic 2 is so fucking good.
It's so good.
Fucking awesome.
Dude, my brother and I, dude, we used to play that game like every day. Just every day. We're booting it up. It's insane. Remedy, Alan Wake 2, Control, or Death Rally?
Alan Wake 2.
Control.
Death Rally.
100% obviously Alan Wake 2. Because they are the most popular they've ever been now. That's why
Interesting.
Control was like, hey, we're the best. And then Alan Wake 2 was like, hey, they're the best. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Ubisoft. This one, they left the answer out accidentally, so can't do that one. Bandai Namco. Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball, Tekken 7, or Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4.
Oh.
Naruto.
Dragon Ball.
Or Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Nice.
It's like Dragon Ball is more popular than Naruto.
From,
It's gotta be.
from Software, Dark Souls
Oh,
3,
shit.
Elden Ring, or Sekiro?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Fastest selling. Should I just pick something else?
It might be Dark
Say
Souls
Elden
3,
Ring.
but it's probably Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
It's
I love
Elden Ring. Of course it's Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, like, destroyed everything.
All right, we're going to go out on this one for the finale because it's the only way we have to go out. Rockstar.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh.
Oh, boy.
All right,
GTA 4. GTA 5. Or Red Dead Redemption 2.
This is actually really tricky.
It is tricky. That's a good one. It's a really good one.
Ooh,
Five?
GTA 5?
I feel like it's probably 5, but being tricky.
I'm scared
makes me
about 4.
second guess. I'm gonna go Red Dead.
Didn't Red Dead, like,
Red
sell
Dead
really
Redemption
fast?
2. Yeah. The game repeatedly surprises me with how much it sold because I feel like as good as it isn't Grand Theft Auto, right? And it doesn't get talked about as much as Grand Theft Auto.
So what are you saying?
Red Dead.
You're saying Red Dead. What are they saying?
We pretty much
5.
all said GTA 5, but I think it might be Red Dead.
It's GTA 5.
Yeah.
It's GTA 5. Of course. Who won that?
I had 4.
No one else was counting. So, Blood.
There we go.
Blood. You will receive your telepathic message at some point.
Okay. I'll let you
sure
know.
of it. Okay. All righty. Right after this brief message, we've got bets. And Easy Allies patrons are getting 2 bonus love and respect questions that are always a freaking blast and a half, including some picks for recent sevens, you say?
Oh, shoot.
What? So if you want to get in on that extended cut, consider becoming a $5 patron at patreon.com/easyallies. It'll really help us out. And yeah, you'll also get this podcast 2 days early, ad-free. You can submit questions to Love and Respect, and you get into our official Discord to make lifelong bonds. So get on in there. And if you really want to help us out, you can join one of our producer tiers. Our platinum producers get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. And this month's shout outs go to Jabawabs, Elthanis, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out.
Wow.
Couple of legends. Now come join us on Patreon for those bonus questions. It's patreon.com/easyallies. All right, it's time for bets. Getting ahead of myself. I'm getting a little antsy.
This week's bet.
The Switch 2 will finally be revealed next week. It is a monumental day for this industry. One of the biggest days of all time for the industry that I can think of. Switch 2, new Nintendo console, high stakes, big frickin' deal. During the Direct, how many video games will we see? Gameplay and logos both count, but if they just say something, that doesn't count. We need to see a logo or gameplay. Mm-hmm. If we see more,
What if they just have some plain text bullcrap? Like, you know.
No, we need logo.
Half Nintendo
actual
can
logo,
ship with
okay.
that.
Yeah, we
as
need
their title screen.
Yeah, we need a logo or gameplay. How many games will we be seeing? These can be announced games, unannounced games. It doesn't matter. If we see the same game 5 times, that's only one game.
Yep, that's good.
So there we go. The arrogant child, Damiani.
Ugh.
How many games are we gonna see?
I last minute thought of like montage and stuff, but you know what? I'm gonna say no to those and stick to my original and say 15.
15 games.
15.
Bloodworth the Wicked Worm.
The mirror of that? I don't know. What do you would call this? 51.
Damn, I thought I would have the high.
$50, dude.
$50?
51 games.
Yeah. If you talk about the, you know, they do a look back at like, you know, a montage of different things, or they get
All
into like
these
a
games are
Switch
on the Switch,
Online.
yeah.
You're right.
We saw the game card thing today. That's a bunch of logos. How many logos were on
Yeah,
those
that's
game
true.
cards?
It's true. That all
If
counts.
they scroll Nintendo Online, it's over.
I gotta change
Logos
my bet,
count.
dude. I gotta
No, that's
change
not
my
how this
bet.
works.
I know.
Can't change your bet.
Of course, they're locked. Whimsical Scum, Isla.
I said 32.
32 games. Punish Castellanos, Dawn.
He said 13, almost flipping mine.
13. I like these spreads. Gabby, Strange Valentine.
25.
25 really hurts me. Damn it. The Fancy Stars member, Huber, I have 16.
Ooh.
Yeah. Kind of squeezed right ahead of you
Yeah.
and Damiani, but kind of close to Gabby and Isla.
Yeah, I don't know if that might be rough for you.
Yeah,
it's
of
easier
course.
on the low end.
Yeah.
For Don to get the low. If they just
Yep.
show a couple of hot games, if they do like 8 games, and Don's
Yeah.
got it.
Last week's bet, the first Berserker Khazan is out now. Give it a shot if you are into that kind of game. It is really, really good. Last week, we asked how many times we would see the word Wukong in the top 10 Open Critic reviews. Here they are.
Well, no, you give what people.
Oh,
bet
yes,
first.
yes, sorry. Damiani said 1. Bloodworth was out. He didn't get to vote. We love that. Isla had 4. Dawn had 6. Gabby had 10. And I had 7. Restart, 0. Silicon Era, 0. Cloud Dosage, 0. Quest Daily, 0. Game Rant, 0. PC Gamer, 2. Fextra Life, 0. The Gamer, 0. GameSpot, 0. And VG 24/7 0, bringing the PC Gamer a little 2 spot out to the win. The answer is 2, and the winner is Damiani.
Damn.
the arrogant child.
I missed it by one.
I know.
Could have been a tie.
Yeah. Which brings the current score to Punish Castellanos 4, The Wicked Worm 2,
We're
and then.
supposed to say the damn things.
I'm sorry. I just.
Dispatch.
Yay! I don't remember what mine is.
And we've all got one. Yeah, the whimsical scum, Fancy Stars member, and the arrogant child Damiani on the board.
Does Damiani have a sound?
Yeah, Damiani's got to give a sound.
Yeah, I got one.
What?
Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis is the best video game ever. Donkey Kong sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about I'm
You're good.
I don't
Just
know.
read the next thing.
My brain
What's
is, yeah, we're
happening?
moving on. We're moving on. It's all right, promotion time. We had our 9th anniversary stream this Tuesday, and it was a hell of a ride. It was so fun. We streamed for like 9 hours, 9 for 9, basically.
We beat the boss in 33 Immortals.
We beat the
I didn't
boss.
think that was going to happen.
That was so awesome.
Or at least I thought it would take us a couple times to get there.
Yeah. We hit our thresholds thanks to the generosity and support of all of you. We thank you so much for getting us here. 9 years. I mean, that is so awesome. It's unbelievable. So much love and respect to everyone who's supported us at all for those 9 years. That is so cool. We raised, we're getting raised over 5,000. We're getting Damiani out here for Summer Game Fest. We're gonna have a meetup
Yup.
as well. Gabby and I are gonna play Resident Evil 2 Remake full playthrough. Gabby, how many Resident Evil games have you played?
Zero.
Zero.
You know that.
I wanted her to say it out
That's
loud.
for the audience.
She
Exactly.
did. She said that.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Zero. So
I
it's
was
gonna
just
be
repeating what she said.
it's gonna be awesome. Chad, it's gonna be amazing. Holy shit. We're gonna play on normal. She's not gonna tell us if she's gonna be Jill or Jill, Claire or Leon until right before we start.
Nice.
Yes. And we're gonna do a switch to opinion yell after the reveal. That'll be exciting.
It'll be like a little over a week later because we want to. Yeah.
Yes.
Experience the tube.
Let it all sink in. Yeah. Yeah, and the experience tube has to get here.
Also, we have a Doom the Dark Ages preview coming up soon. Please be excited. And as we said, Blood has one more preview from GDC coming up pretty soon as well. And as we've said many, many times on this podcast, the Switch 2 for reveal is happening Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific. We'll probably go live at like 5:30, 5:45, somewhere around there. So be sure to join us and tune in for next week's podcast because it's going to be a good one. And as well for the Switch 2 reactions, that'll be Wednesday, twitch.tv/Easy Allies, 6 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, we made it to the winner, you arrogant child. You get to shout out to anything or anyone that's on your mind this week. You get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off. Take us away.
All right, let's do shout out to again Game Informer.
Yes.
That's freaking awesome to have that happen. Like that doesn't like happen. So that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, maybe it'll spark more of that.
Yeah.
And maybe
What
there's
was-
more revivals
One
like
of-
that for sure.
One of the things that was crazy last week was like making the call because, you know, like they teased last week while I was at GDC, and then like I'm on the ground, I'm boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
All these people actually know what's happening, and they're telling me, and I was gonna tell all you guys, I'm like, wait, no, I won't send that. Because then it lets you guys like all speculate on the podcast last week. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well done, Blood.
Final word. Yeah. Good good send-offs, you know, Switch, you know, direct. Good last direct. But you know, just don't end with the announcement of an app. It's okay. It's okay. I know why you want to do it. I know why they probably want to do it, but like those apps are starting to add up, Nintendo. How many you got? Like 2, 3, 4? Like if you're gonna do it, at least do like a single app with like the music and the news.
Yeah.
Like, maybe something like that would be pretty good. And the voice functionality, voice chat, like would be nice. Just a thought. And until next time, everybody, may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Utter freak show.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Jabawabs, L. Thanis, Raymond Wheeler III, Jay Shee, Jesper Popmel Dufay, Roy Sung, 44 Stars, Alexander Zirianov, Andri, Brandon White, Brian Kruger, Colton Pichone, Daniel Martinek, Douglas Chomich, Faraz Rizvi, Garrett Holfish, G. Levin, Hayden Hargraves, Jesse Blue, Jesus R., Luis Ibarra, Miguel Rivas, Mo Grant, Paul Sway, Ronka Q, Robert Stoffel, Sam Handrick, Stomps, Stepan Hakobian, The Banana Forklift Killer, Chum Nguyen, Zigazich, Anish Dor, Aaron Haney, Accounts Payable, Alex Monaco, Alex Stories, Anna Croft, Andreas Risberg, Anthony F., Anthrioni, Arthur Lau, Austeel, Barry Tomasini, Brian Foster, Bunny Chen, C.S. Lewis, Katie Garza, Chief Uhu, Chris Eccles, Christopher Santis, Clay Roberts, Colin Montoot, Connell Sumlin, Corey Jackson, Corey Landega, Crumb Eyes, Culinary Stud, Cyberboa, Dan Sebring, Daniel Kozlowski, Daniel Wong, David Aniki, Enya Hink, Eric Tobias, Espen Gotchman, Ethereal Ether, Forever Ender, Forrest, Frogshirt, Gabriel Smith, Jen Woofles, Gino A. Leet, Gustav Strombaum, Harrison Holt, I. Sun Chor, Ian Anderson, Gerald, Jesse Fish, Jesse Wilkeson, John McCullough, John Prey, Junya Motamura, Carl Williams, Keegan Boyle, Kevin Gillet, Kroldemort, Leon Keys, Lying Crown 19, Marco Hernandez, Materia Addict, Matthias Clare, Max Miller, Miguel, Nefertiti Jenkins, Nycrypt, Nick Hill Sharma, Ninja Kitty Meow, Ono Turtle, Orugachino, Pablo Rodriguez, Patrick Held, Pixelated, Pulphead, Ray Aldiar, Reed Johnson, Richard Ma, Ritz 1906, Robert Seven Lee, Robin, Ryan Rutger, Sage Mode Q, Salvers, Samuel Copeland, SD Prima, Sebastian T, Servino, Sean Johnstone, Cito, Sneaky Gato, Strikeout NZ, Sultab, Tadashi 047, Taffy 9K, Tim Strothman, This Is My Username 1466, Tomovi Kioni, Travis Ing, Trizac, Wouter DeHaze, Yami Zetsumi.